This is Monty in the Morning, the show Phoenix Magazine readers voted #1 talk radio show in Arizona.
#1 during your morning commute.
#1 whenever news breaks during your day.
And #1 whenever and wherever you want to talk sports.
Now it's time for Monty in the Morning.
Hey, yo, man, how the heck are you? It is the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. If you've been in a wreck, have you had an accident, have you been hurt at work, get to UtahAdvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business. The Advocates, you never pay them out of pocket, not a penny, until they win your case at UtahAdvocates.com. Get online right now and chat with them. A big show, as always, for you. We have to talk about Yeezys.
Neat.
I know that you collect Yeezys.
It's so exciting, isn't it?
Do you own a single pair of Yeezys?
No.
I do not either, and now you can't. What's going on with Kanye? What's going on with Elon? Harris LaChance will join the show coming up at 8:30. We've got to talk Utah. Is Utah football getting the respect it's deserved and that they've earned after the USC win? I'll tell you why I think they're not. I don't know. Are we going to talk about BYU firing their defensive coordinator today, Jake? Or
I mean, we didn't, he didn't really get fired. I mean, he just got moved.
Can we go one show without talking about Kalani's best friend?
Yeah, I mean, potentially.
Just one show.
Probably not. Honestly, probably not. We probably can't.
Okay. I mean, that's fine if that's how you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It is what it be. Hello this morning to all of our friends who are in early. Mike Chase, how the heck are you? Morning, fellas. It's hump day. Every day's hump day, sir.
Let's go, Mike.
Unless you're Jake.
Right.
Anything to add to that conversation yet?
No.
Nah, maybe
nothing
tomorrow.
to add.
Maybe tomorrow. Good morning, guys. Happy to be here. Thank you, Neville. Good to see you. Top of the morning, fellas. Kenai Johnson says, if we trade for Westbrook, then we are tanking. I would agree with that. Why don't we get into this conversation right here on the program?
The program.
Talk the program. This is Alabama. This is a program.
It's a program.
You love that people say program instead of program.
I have a really disciplined program.
You actually don't like that. Why does that bother you so much?
I just think it's funny that people are like, like Nick Saban's like, if you're going to be in this program, you better be disciplined. Instead of saying like, we have a really inclusive program. I don't know. I just think it's funny.
Wow. Okay. Hey, great. We're going to move on. Thanks for that. Should the Utah Jazz trade for Russell Westbrook, and are they trying to? It's been something that a lot of people have talked about over the last few weeks, and I can tell you, having spoken to sources around the NBA over the last couple of days, it certainly sounds like the Utah Jazz are not trading for Russell Westbrook. That ship has kind of sailed. And I think there is some, I wouldn't say bad blood, but from what I've been told, the relationship between Rob Pelinka and the Utah Jazz is not exactly great. As the Lakers thought they had a deal done, by some accounts, I was told the Lakers thought they had Bojan Bogdanovic and Malik Beasley from the Lakers. Whether Mike Conley was in that trade or not, it is up for discussion. But there was thought that the Lakers had a deal done that centered around Bojan Bogdanovic and Malik Beasley, as well as a draft pick coming from the Jazz. And the Lakers were willing to include Russ and 2 first-round picks. And for some reason, Danny Ainge didn't execute that deal. Now, I've also been told that the Lakers are the one who said no. And the Lakers, as I've been told, are telling people the Jazz said no. But what I'm sure of is the Lakers and the Jazz are not currently talking about a Russell Westbrook deal. In fact, I've been told that the Indiana Pacers are the only team that has shown significant interest in acquiring Russell Westbrook, but that deal would likely have to take place in December because of where Indiana feels like they are. So, no, the Utah Jazz are not trading for Russell Westbrook at this moment. Jake, are you happy to hear that?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Utah Jazz are a team that, has obviously gotten off to a really nice start here and are in a positive position. And I think even though, you did lose your first game, I think overall you're in a great position. And I think that I just don't see the logic in buying out Russell Westbrook. I don't understand what you're looking for there, why you would do that. I mean, obviously you would be asking for, picks in that deal, of course, but I think that I just don't know that it's worth it. You're in a good position financially. Your situation with your draft picks, while they're not ideal, obviously they're workable. So, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't trade for Russell Westbrook. And it really has nothing to do with the on the floor stuff. I mean, that's just very surface level to me. I think it has everything to do with the financial commitment and where he's at in his career, because the next place he goes, because there will be another team he goes to, it could possibly be his last deal. It could possibly be his last contract with how he's played, unless he figures out how to start shooting it at a high rate again and like how to get his game back. But that to me is what the most baffling thing is, that his game has just disappeared. So yeah, today's Russell Westbrook, no, I wouldn't trade for him at all.
Yeah, I think it's a huge problem for the Lakers right now, and I actually think at 0-3, they are one of the most shocking teams in the NBA, and frankly, their inability to get a deal done this summer, I think, has really handicapped them. But if you're the Utah Jazz, I think you're in a position now where there's no reason to make a deal at all. I think you have to let this first half of the season play out and then do your bidding in January. But the next 2 months, I think, are all about letting these guys find their role and allowing these guys to really become, a team. And one of the things that I think is so interesting is that I actually don't believe that Russell Westbrook could report here. I don't think that Russ could play for this team. I do not think, and I don't know what you think, but I don't think Utah Jazz fans would welcome Russell Westbrook. I think he would be consistently booed here. I don't even know that MVP caliber play from Russ or getting back to triple-double Russ would bring Jazz fans along. I just think that relationship is fractured.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's got his fair share of history here with the fans. It's no secret, and I think that, Russ is obviously a fiery guy and someone who really gets after it on the floor, and I think that, I just don't think that Salt Lake is a great fit for him overall. I mean, we saw the reaction to Donovan Mitchell when Don did some things off the court and was advocating for certain things. And I think that, Russ is not a good fit in Salt Lake. It's not. And to me, if they wanted to acquire Russ, they'd only be doing that to buy him out and pick up the picks. And I also think that right now you don't want to mess up a good thing. Like, I think, obviously you're 4 games in or whatever it is now, and you're 3-1, and you're back home at the Viv again to play the Rockets again tonight. And I think that, you just have this nice sort of, momentum and culture kind of building itself in that locker room. It's nice to see the cheering after the game and the excitement and the fun that these guys are having. So to me, it's just, I just don't know why you would wreck that. I feel like Will Hardy did a great job in the preseason and, sort of building this roster and really bringing these guys together before camp even started. Camp starts, regular season starts, and they're off to a flying start, and everyone's surprised by it. So that's my thing. Like, I just don't think that if they did this deal, that they would even, I agree with you, I don't think they'd ever even put Russ in a uni. I think that they would just buy him out, send him on his way, and he can go play. He can go find it in free agency. That's what I think would happen.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what you say about that. Like, I think it's one of those things where you have to figure out somehow, some way. If you are the Lakers, you have to figure out somehow, some way how to get the most out of him.
Yeah.
Because I think the guy that they're more likely to trade is Anthony Davis. I was talking to a guy last night. And the Knicks have shown a lot of interest in Anthony Davis. And I think Anthony Davis is a real problem for the Lakers because he's been so injured and he has been so inconsistent for them. And yes, they won a championship, but I think a lot of people are over Anthony Davis in Los Angeles. And I actually think Anthony Davis is the bigger problem. Russ is what he is, right? He's a $47 million player that's disappearing for you after this season. The problem with Anthony Davis is you are tied to Anthony Davis. He is supposedly the guy that's going to replace LeBron James as your franchise player. Yet, from what I understand, people in the front office in LA don't believe that anymore. And I think what you're seeing is that the Lakers are going to be open to discussions on Anthony Davis. And I would not be surprised to see him change locations, because I think Anthony Davis is the bigger problem for the Lakers. Russell Westbrook is going to handle himself.
Right.
He's either going to play better or he's not going to be here after the season, because he's on an expiring deal now. So he offers you a tremendous amount of cap space. Is this Laker team built to win a championship? Clearly not. But to go back to the Utah Jazz side of this, you're not clearly in a place where you want to help the Lakers, or you'd have made that previous trade.
Obviously.
I still maintain Danny Ainge only traded Bojan Bogdanovic to Detroit to put a thumb in the Lakers' eye. That's the only reason you would make that trade instead of making the deal with the Lakers. And now it's worked out tremendously well. Kelly Olynyk's been a good contributor over the first 4 games. You're 3-1. You feel like you're in a good place, and the Lakers are in the cesspool of the bottom of the NBA. And I think I actually think it's a real problem for the NBA that they're this bad.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a problem that they're bad. And I think for like, to go a layer deeper with the Lakers, like, I think, like, it needs to be said, I'm not a LeBron guy. I never have been. I respect what he's done.
Yeah.
Obviously, he's obviously one of the greatest of all time. I'm not interested in the, who's the greatest of all time. I just think LeBron is in that group of guys that, revolutionized the NBA and did some things. And I think that for his sake, he's got to get this figured out, because imagine the concept of LeBron retiring as a Laker and his last 3 to 4 seasons were like this. Like, that's a terrible way to go out.
Oh, my
and
God.
frankly, whether you're a LeBron guy or not, the guy deserves to go out a little better than this. And I think that, LeBron needs to find some guys who can stay healthy and who can make a basketball shot. Like, I know that seems novel. I'm not even being sarcastic or tongue-in-cheek or anything. Like, Russ legitimately, and Anthony Davis is struggling too, but this is more about Russ, like, can't make a jump shot right now.
It's incredible.
And I don't know how you explain that, because I remember, like when I was, mid-2000s, Russ was a complete savage for Oklahoma City. Like, could knock it down from 3, was posterizing people, like, everything you wanted in a basketball player. Russell Westbrook was that guy. And typically, NBA players don't just forget how to shoot a basketball. Usually, they'll lose their legs a little bit, they'll lose athleticism, they'll lose explosiveness as they age, but they can still remake themselves inside of their game because they can shoot the mid-range. They can, it's like what Chris Paul does now. It's like what Kobe did as he aged through his career and became much more of a finesse skill player than a posterize you kind of guy. Like, it's like what LeBron's gone through. LeBron has definitely turned into more of a, finesse guy who plays in the mid-range and can still bully a little bit. That's usually what you see, but Russ now has become a guy that is just the ball goes to him and it's a miss. And now people are putting together highlight packages where one camera's on his teammates, one camera's on Russ, and you can see how frustrated they are shooting the ball. So that's what I'm saying.
Because he's shooting right now. Russell Westbrook is shooting 8%.
That's what I'm saying.
From 3.
It's toxic, bro. And the whole thing about them shooting, I think it's like 22% from 3 as a team. Like, okay, that doesn't even surprise me. You can win in this league without being a prolific three-point shooting team, but that inherently then means you have to be a prolific defensive team, which they're not either. So that's why
they're shooting 21% from 3.
That's what I say. Like,
goodness.
you're like the Utah Jazz, as they're currently constituted, would give the Lakers everything they could handle and a little bit more. And that's embarrassing.
Oh my God! And they're giving up 35% from 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're not playing defense. You can't shoot from the field or from 3 at a proficient rate. And so my point just is, when we talk about should Danny Ainge and the Utah Jazz trade for Russell Westbrook, well, yeah, sure, I guess you could do the trade, but I don't think you should. And even if you did, he wouldn't suit up for you because of what he's done. So that's why I say, I think, to the conversation we've sort of been having about where the Jazz are at right now, I think they need to just chill right now. I think they just need to play games right now. Let this Westbrook situation play out with Indiana. And then at the deadline, see where Mike Conley's at. If Conley's had a great first half and he's healthy and he's got a lot of value, maybe you look at moving him. Maybe you look at taking advantage of him while he's still got value. If not, then you stand pat and you wait for the draft. I mean, that's where I think you are.
I mean, looking at some of the numbers, Anthony Davis is actually off to a good start, 24 points a game. But, I mean, it's a precipitous fall. LeBron's 27 points a game. Anthony Davis at 24 points a game. Then it goes Lonnie Walker at 15, all the way down to Russell Westbrook at 10 points a game. And I just don't know where you get, like, how do you win games when LeBron's your best three-point shooter at 25%? I mean, Anthony Davis is making 20%. I don't, man. That's brutal, dude. Like, they're not and somehow, some way, that's allowed to go on, and Rob Pelinka, their general manager, got a contract extension.
Yeah, well, and I think that the tough part is, and this is kind of where all the GM jokes come in, but, like, I'm not really joking about this. Like, I think it's very difficult on a LeBron James team to have a ton of control, because LeBron, like, we all know, Rob Pelinka wanted DeMar DeRozan.
Yes.
Not Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
But they wound up with Westbrook. How did that happen? LeBron stepped in. So I think Jeannie Buss understands that dynamic and understands that LeBron's not going to be here 3 years from now, probably. Maybe even less than that. So to me, it's like, okay, Rob's not really doing a bad job. Like, the Anthony Davis deal, like it or hate it, was worth it because you won a championship. And
but if you're not going to listen to the guy, what good is it?
Well, but so here's the thing, and this is where I think Jeannie kind of goes a little bit awry. So when it was the Kobe era, Jeannie could always listen to Kobe and understand his leadership style, and it always worked out. You always knew you were going to get to the playoffs, and you were going to grind it out, and you were going to have some level of success. The problem is Bron hasn't done that quite yet, the same way Kobe did it. Bron is much more of not a hard ass. He's much more of a player's guy. He's much more of a team culture guy. And I think that Jeannie is just trying to let this iteration of the Lakers sort of run its course, and then they will figure it out. But the problem
but how important is it for them to be good?
Like, I think it's really important.
The Knicks, Celtics, Lakers, I think the Bulls to a lesser extent. I think Golden State's back in that conversation, although that debacle last night. Did you guys see that? My guy, the single best shooting guard in the history of the NBA.
Your guy.
My guy.
Right.
Devin Booker.
Right.
Dominated Golden State last night. And I have to tell you, I mean, who's surprised? Who's surprised? Who's the man now? I love that Clay got ejected. And hey, bro, and this is my biggest concern with Golden State.
Yeah.
My biggest concern. It's cool you guys have all those rings. They don't win you games.
Vexes me.
They don't. Klay Thompson got ejected last night, and he starts pointing to his finger, and, hey, that's cool. They ran your ass off the floor last night. Now, it's the regular season, and all that matters is what you do in the postseason, and Book hasn't performed in the postseason. Klay Thompson has. They've got 4 rings. I get that. But at some point, the arrogance of the Golden State Warriors and this ridiculousness with, people like Draymond Green and bro, at some point you've got to actually, like, get back to winning games. And you want to talk about dysfunction, and I'm not saying they're bad, and I know that's Chaboys in Golden State. I know you love that club, but I'm telling you now, there is dysfunction there that's going to hurt them this year.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that the Draymond stuff is just getting started. I'm sure that there's going to be, obviously, he's going to get technicals, and he'll get ejections, and he'll do what Draymond does every year. And I think that Jordan Poole is only getting better, and they're going to have to figure that out. And I think that Clay just had enough of Book last night.
Listen, you're going to have to say it.
No.
What do you mean no? You don't even know what I'm going to make you say?
He's got to perform in the postseason, dude.
God damn it. He doesn't. He is dating a Kardashian, so he will never perform in the postseason.
That's enough of that crap.
He will never perform in the postseason. No. As long as he's got that Kardashian,
Yeah.
Do you believe in the Kardashian curse? Because I do.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cut and dry, man.
Anybody want to ask Kanye about the Kardashian curse? Anyway, the point is, let's see what you guys have to say. Good morning. Appreciate you guys being here. All of our Jazz talk on this show, as always, is brought to you by our good friends at TryDayTrading.com. Have you ever wanted to be a day trader? Have you ever wanted, and are you today thinking about how much you hate your job? How much do you hate your job? Again, yesterday we were hanging out with some folks, and somebody asked me about Day Trading. It's legit. Absolutely. And I don't know why so many people are scared of the stock market, because it's a way to make yourself some money. Get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty right now. Watch the free webinar. That's all I'm asking you to do. Not asking you to reach into your pocket. Don't have to put a card on file. Just watch the free webinar at TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Trust me when I say you will not regret it. And if you don't want to take my word for it, how about our good friend and my LinkedIn connection? Yeah, Lemma Harrington and I are connected on LinkedIn.
There you go.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Lemma Harrington here. I've been in the broadcast business going on 30 years now. And after that amount of time, you start to be able to pick some winners. I want to share a winner that I'm aware of with you, and that is my guys at Tri-Day Trading. They're going to teach you how to trade, and then they're going to let you trade using their money and then split the profits with you. That's a pretty winning deal. If you want to register for a free webinar, all you have to do is go to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. So for more information, it's TryDayTrading.com/Monty. We'll see you there.
There you go.
My personal friend. We are close personal friends who've never met. Lemma Harrington knows well that TryDayTrading.com is legit. It's a great way for you to make money. And as he said, there's really no risk for you. You're going to go through the TryDayTrading.com/Monty program, and you're going to trade with their money, not yours, until you're ready to rock and roll. And when you make money with their money, they split the profit with you at Tri-Day Trading. By the way, it is Jazz and Roque tonight. How about the number on this game? -6 for the Jazz. Okay, they're at home.
Right.
232.
Yeah, well,
200
against the Rockets.
I said 232 points and a half. Points.
Right.
232, 116 points per.
Yeah.
Is that what we're? That's a huge number.
Well, two teams that are, in my opinion, everyone always says, "Oh, well, the Jazz are great defensively."
232 points.
Yeah, dude.
You're supposed to be like wowed by that.
I'm not. It's the Rockets and Jazz. They're going to put up points.
Roger Sales says, didn't LeBron insist on getting Westbrook? He did. In fact, he did. Very much he did insist. Troy Cushing says, good morning to the two best sports talks in Utah. Well, thank you. With Hardy type of plays by spreading the floor, Westbrook could be really good off the bench, exploding to the hoop. Thoughts? I just think culturally he's not a fit here. Yeah. He's had so many run-ins with Jazz fans.
Yeah.
The racial overtones of those run-ins, the heat, the vitriol. I mean, basketball-wise, I'm telling you, and you said it earlier, but I'll say it again, the next team that gets Russell Westbrook, I think, is going to get a much better player than we're seeing in L.A. A much, much better player than we're seeing in L.A. because he's not nearly done. I'm telling you, Russell Westbrook can still play in this league at a very high level, in my opinion. I don't think that's in Utah.
Yeah, and I just don't think that there's a reason to bring his situation into this locker room. I don't think that you need to you need to put that kind of strain on the room and like try to figure out, how that's going to work, and is Russ going to come off the bench, and like just all the drama with it. I feel like you have, your leaders on this team are humble, like what?
You're perfectly framed up now.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
That's great. Thank you.
What? I was trying to make you look good, and trust me when I say that's difficult.
I know.
I mean, look at your face. How am I going to make that look good?
I know.
That was a you
guys ever want to kick it?
You're ugly. That was what it was.
Yeah, I know that was an ugly joke. I get it. Yeah. Right.
There you go.
I understand.
Okay, let's move on now because I feel awkward. What's up, and greetings from the Czech Republic. Hey,
What's dude?
We need to trade Mike C, Rudy G, Malik B. Get what we can for them by the trade deadline. I think Rudy Gay and Mike Conley will be traded. I think Malik Beasley could be traded. I just think he's got a lot of value to you. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, those three guys, you're not wrong, Czech Republic. You're not wrong at all. At all. I think that those three guys have tremendous value. I agree with that at all. Mark Hale says, morning, and no, the Jazz should not trade for Westbrook. Teddy Wayman says, morning, guys. What's up?
What's up,
How
Teddy?
are you, Teddy? Good to see you, friend. Tony says, what about the elephant in the room? Next year's draft pick is only top 10 protected. Do we suck or go hard next year? Well, and we were having this exact conversation last night as we were dozing off at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
As we were preparing for the show yesterday, we were talking about the fact that the Jazz picks are not great. The Jazz draft picks this coming season, I mean, you don't feel good about where you are. I mean, you have your own pick, but now if they're, I mean, this is at this moment today, 4 games into the season, this is a play-in team, in my opinion. This is a 7, 8, 9, 10 team. That's not a tremendous draft pick, right? And if you look at the picks that they have coming up, it's not as though the Utah Jazz have all these huge, picks and, hey, this is going to be amazing, and because you really don't.
Yeah,
you know
well,
what I mean?
I think that it's been packaged like, hey, Danny's got a war chest of picks, and he does. He does have a lot of picks. That is true. I think the struggle is that, like if we go back to the Don trade and really the Rudy trade, and I guess you can bunch in the Royce trade, like he got picks in all those trades that have a variety of different value. The problem is I feel like, and this is what a lot of people asked on the show yesterday, like, why did you trade Don if you're, if you're, not going to get your best picks back? And I think that, you look at this and obviously they have their own pick. They've got the, Timberwolves unprotected pick, and
but
then
what is that pick worth? The Minnesota Timberwolves are probably a top 5 team in the West.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. My whole point here is that Danny Ainge clearly has got a process, right? So Danny Ainge understands, all right, I need options, I need flexibility, I need to at a minimum have, damn near 20 picks to work with here of differing values and whatnot. And the point is that there are a lot of these picks that are not real high value. That is true. But what I think Danny wants to do, and again, this is just my opinion, I'm not saying we have info on this, but what I think he wants to do is he wants to use those picks, and based on how they do this season, he's going to leverage those picks to make trades. That's what I think ultimately they want to do. Are they going to draft guys? Yes, of course they're going to draft guys. But I think they're going to make their hay through the trade market and potentially through buyout guys.
I would agree with that.
Or, obviously restricted free agency.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I think the other issue is that Royce O'Neal draft pick means that they get the least favorable pick between Brooklyn, the Sixers, and the Rockets. So you're not getting the Rockets pick because that would be the best of the bunch. So you're probably going to wind up with the Sixers or the Nets pick, and they're probably top 3 in the East.
Yeah.
So, that's why I said, like, all this tanking stuff, like, your best pick is probably your own pick, and this is not the worst team in the conference, not even close. I mean, the Lakers are 0-3 right now, and they're not going to get better with this current group. Like, I don't know how else to say that you're not tanking and you're not in a position, even if you do tank, to get that number 1 pick. I think it's a pipe dream. And this was my concern with trading Donovan Mitchell, is that trade did not net you some kind of amazing draft pick. And the Rudy trade is as good as it was. I mean, the Minnesota Timberwolves unprotected pick, how valuable is that? It's not that valuable.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to rain on people's parades, but it's not that valuable.
But I think there's a certain value in just how many options he does have. Like, I'm with you that, they're not, like, super valuable, but at least you have options. And I think that is, like, we can't forget where Danny came from. I mean, Danny Ainge walked in the building and had no picks, was paying luxury tax, and was strapped with contracts. And now you have a ton of picks of probably not great value, but at least you have picks now. You have a ton of flexibility in the financials, so you are in a better spot. Make no mistake about it. Now, where I agree with you is, as part of all these trades you made, would you have liked to have gotten some top 10 picks and some really lucrative draft capital, like draft capital that could really make a difference for you? Absolutely, of course.
Yeah.
Like, yes, but I think, there's a certain gray area and a certain line that you got to kind of walk when you're trading these guys. They're, again, as we said 100 times during that trading process, or season, if you will, they weren't in a position to dictate to other teams.
No, and I think, let's not get this twisted. Danny made great trades.
Yeah.
But as you hang on to these picks and as time goes on, the value of those picks is going to go down.
Yeah.
And I think that's why this coming trade deadline is just so flippin' important. Like, I cannot emphasize enough how important it is that Danny Ainge have a good trade deadline this coming time around. because they're not trying to get to the top of the draft. I mean, anybody that's in the first round of this upcoming draft is going to get a good player.
Yeah.
But you really need to trade for a superstar, and you need to set yourself up to do that at this coming deadline. And then in the summer, you need to go and trade for a superstar.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost you a lot of money. And again, not for nothing, I just ask, why'd you trade Donovan Mitchell? Because you would be a 5, 6, 7 team right now, if you didn't make the Donovan Mitchell trade. So you just ask yourself, hey, you're going to have to go out and replace this guy now. Because that's really what we're talking about.
Yeah.
If the Jazz are going to go out and they're going to make deals, you're doing that to replace Donovan Mitchell. There's no doubt about that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I had an issue with the Cleveland deal for Don.
Yes.
Because what really did you get back? I mean, we had some epic debate yesterday about whether Conley should start or Sexton should start. And, obviously you're in the camp that Mike Conley's the better point guard and the guy who should start, which inherently then means that Donnie trade was not a great trade for immediate impact now. And so, I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily believe Colin Sexton has Donovan Mitchell top end. I don't think that he does. I think he's got, an all-star appearance or two in his career top end. I don't think that he's Donovan Mitchell level player at his best. And so to me, it's like, all right, cool, you didn't do the Knicks deal, but you did the Cavs deal, and you didn't really get too much back. So for me, when I look forward with this team, I'm like, yeah, great. We're 3-1. We got off to this great start for a team that people expected to be just absolutely awful. Like, there are a lot of positives around this team right now, 100%. But when I look at what's coming in the processes that are going to play out in the front office, it does feel like there's a bit of a dark cloud. I got to be honest with you, man. Like, I think it's whether it's the draft capital thing, whether it's the question of why you actually even traded Donovan Mitchell, like whether you look at this Westbrook situation, like it's not great. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Danny still has his work cut out for him. He's got a lot of work to do still.
Yeah, I think it's very interesting just trying to figure out how all this will play out and trying to figure out, like, what's the right thing to do here? Because I don't know that you are fully aware and capable of doing the right thing. That's a huge question mark, because I don't know. And when I say that, what I mean is I don't know that the Utah Jazz are in position to do the right thing. The right thing is to do nothing until the trade deadline, right? But there's a lot of pressure to leverage these picks. Now, the conversations that Ryan Smith and Danny Ainge are having, none of us are privy to those. But I don't think there's any doubt this All-Star game brings a lot more pressure and vision. The fact that the Utah Jazz in an All-Star year are not on national TV, not one single time now, is a problem. I think the fact that you don't have a clear-cut All-Star on this team, and this goes back to the conversation you and I have had 100 times, Jake. Why is Jordan Clarkson starting? I think Jordan Clarkson is starting for the simple reason that it gives him the best chance to make an All-Star team. And I still don't think he's an all-star. That's just my opinion. I think your best bet at an all-star is Lauri Markkanen.
Yeah.
But I think it's very interesting that these are the conversations we're having right now.
Yeah, and I think that Jordan Clarkson is definitely a trade asset. There's no question about it. Like, I think that, whether it's him or Conley, or any of the guys you got in the Timberwolves deal, like, I think, those, like, you have assets here. That's what I'm saying. Like, the rebuilding is very different than tanking. Like, tanking is easy. You can just throw some guys out there who are not capable of winning games and go about your business, right? Come into the office, have a cup of coffee, leave, because you know that the boys in Oklahoma City are going to lose tonight. You know that, right? But that's not what this team is doing. And that's what I'm saying. It's very clear to me that they're not tanking. It's very clear to me that, that's just not the mission. The mission is to be competitive.
That I would agree with.
Hopefully place an all-star. And then next offseason, like this coming offseason, you're going to make moves. And you're going to continue to manipulate and massage this roster so that you can then become, I would hope, like, let's say you're a 30-win team. Let's hope you add 5 to 7 wins to that next year. Maybe even 10 wins to that next year. Maybe.
Yep. And my Monty fan says, I agree with you, Jake. The picks we own will be used to make trades to reshape the roster and get a higher draft pick. Hullabilly says, totally agree, Jake. I think those picks are more trade assets than anything. RRR. Like it's just 2 R's space R. RRR. Okay. Anyone considering Victor Wembanyama's injury problems and switching this year out of EuroLeague to play just 1 game a week? I think that's a huge issue.
Yeah, no one's talking about it.
We've talked about it extensively on this show. I think when you're that big and you weigh that little and you have, I mean, he quite possibly, I mean, what do you bench? Chopsticks are bigger than his legs. I don't know what's as small as VW's legs, but he's an injury-prone guy. But he's also growing into his body as well. So we'll see. Somebody asked me if he's really just a kid, and yeah, he's really just a kid. I don't play the age game. I really don't. Jeremy Severe says the real value in picks are after 2025, and that's only right now because we got to wait and see what happens with the CBA.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Like, it's great that you have all these picks, but what's the roadmap for getting the talent through the draft or through trades? That's what's questionable.
Yep. NY Monty fan says, yeah, I am not 100% sold on Wemby. Logically, you can't be. Exactly right. Exactly right. Logically, how can you be?
Yeah, it doesn't add up.
Yeah, how can you be?
Like, I think there's a track record of guys like okay, generally speaking, rookies coming into the league through the draft get hurt. Like we know that. Do. Like Lonzo got hurt, Zion got hurt. Like Book went through his fair share of injuries. Like, yeah, Zion. Yeah, so I think.
Did you say Zion? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay.
I'll just be over here.
But I think but Zion's a great example. Like, Zion's a guy who, obviously, all jokes aside, he was overweight, but somebody who people believe in because of the way he's built. He's a very thick power, post guy that you can work off of. Like, these guys, like the VWs, like my guy Chet, like, I love their game, but I don't trust that they can handle the physicality in the league, bro. Like the Chet LeBron incident might be the best example of what I'm talking about. That was at a Pro-Am. LeBron's going like half speed, and Chet gets the foot injury just off that play.
Yeah, off of a shoulder bump.
Like, it wasn't like it's not like he took a charge. It's not like he had some super physical fall. Like, he didn't get Grayson Allen. Like, you just were playing casual defense and got hurt.
See, an NY Monty fan brings up Sam Bowie, Greg Oden, and Markelle Fultz. Markelle Fultz has still never played in this league, really. I mean, that's
he had one short run with Orlando.
Yeah, one major injury to any of the teams we have picks from can change the whole equation. Yeah, but you're counting on that.
Yeah.
Cody Strickland says, how does the Nets pick work? The one we got for Royce, because looking like the Nets pick will be a good one. I don't think the Nets pick is going to be a good one.
I think he's being facetious.
Probably.
Yeah.
Hullabilly says, the more I think about it, I feel Danny just didn't believe in Don, which I don't agree with, but well, I mean.
It could be.
I think there's definitely I think there was a relationship breakdown. I've heard this more than once now, that Donovan Mitchell and the Jazz had a really good open line of communication, and then they didn't. And I do think that Don was aware, and I know he said this to the contrary, but I think Don was aware that they were going to trade Rudy Gobert. And I think Donovan Mitchell was really worried, and this is what I think changed. I think Donovan Mitchell was really worried about being the scapegoat. Donovan Mitchell didn't want to carry the load in Utah, and when it didn't work out, he didn't want to carry the blame either. And I think that's why things soured, because I think Don got scared. If I'm being totally honest with you, I think Don got scared because he knew, to a man, I have been told by a million different, it must be half a dozen different sources within the Jazz, within the league, close to Donovan Mitchell, like almost right next to Donovan Mitchell. I've been told by Rudy Gobert's people, Donovan Mitchell was aware that trade was coming. He knew what they were doing. He knew what they were attempting to do. They had told him they wanted to remake the roster around him. And I think Don got scared. That's the only thing that makes logical sense.
Facts. Scared of expectation or scared
I think scared that they were not going to win if they built this team around him. And maybe some of this is belief, because I know factually as well that Don doesn't believe that this organization was built to win. And I think there was some concern about that. He didn't believe in what they were doing. But I think he got cold feet about being the guy. in Utah. I think he doesn't mind being the guy in Cleveland. I don't think he would have minded being the guy in New York.
So you think it's a city issue? You think it's a market issue?
I think it's an expectation, and I think it's a failure issue. Donovan Mitchell's never failed. Donovan Mitchell has never, and this is a really hard fact that athletes have to deal with. Most guys never fail until they make it to the big time. And Donovan Mitchell still to this day has never really failed. Because he certainly didn't fail here. He's not the reason they lost. I think Donovan Mitchell isn't ready to be that guy yet. He's not ready to be the alpha that is the reason teams win and lose.
Yeah.
I just think...
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I think... And maybe that's why this season is different for him. I mean, obviously, again, very small sample size, right? Needs to be said. But he's living up to what you expected out of him, which was, 30-plus a night. On average, and facilitating and making plays and playing defense. And I think it's very interesting. And that's why I say, like, with the NBA, time will tell. I have always used for years the 20-game benchmark. If at 20 games you're putting up the numbers that we expect you to, you should be able to do it for most of the season. Because 20 games in, now you're starting to feel a little fatigue in your legs. You're starting to, you start to feel the impact of playing basketball like every day or every other day. I mean, that's just how it works in life.
And look, I don't necessarily think it was a mistake to trade Donovan Mitchell. I would not have traded him. I would not have. I think they got a tremendous haul for him. I think it's one of the few trades that we've seen in recent years that right out of the gate has been a win-win for everybody. I don't think there's any doubt that Markkanen and Sexton have been a really good add for this team. And very clearly, just go look at the numbers, and I've watched every one of their games so far. Donovan Mitchell looks like a new, better form of Donovan Mitchell. I mean, his mid-range game is back. He's shooting the ball really well. He's just really good. It's worked out for Cleveland. It's worked out for the Jazz. I just don't think I would have made that trade. I don't, because all you're going to do here is replace Don. So, I mean, and again, we don't have to agree with it. We're just talk show hosts.
Yeah, I think that, look, I think that it's tough because I think Don is, I'm not sitting here saying he's the greatest Jazz man of all time, but I do think he's one of the most talented guys the Jazz have ever had in the history of the organization. I think talent-wise, top-end-wise, what he's capable of doing. And I think the tough part is that's all fine and dandy that he's talented, but if he doesn't believe in the organization and he doesn't want to be in the city, then that's just the end of it.
Yep. Ed Kiley says, let's see how Agbaji develops. Yeah, he's one of the guys I'm surprised we haven't seen a little more of.
It's not good that he's not playing when, it's not good that he's not able to get ahead of like guys like Walker Kessler or, some of those young guys. That's not a good sign.
BB says, hi, yes, tank. We all know I want Victor. Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. I think a lot of people do. I think a lot of people do. Travis Berg, good morning to you. He says, there's a reason that 5 Jazz players are living in hotels. There's a reason why Jordan Clarkson's house is on the market. Maybe. We'll see. Kenai Johnson said, did the Jazz rebuild or did they just reload is my question. Yeah. And I think as we talk about the biggest stories in sports, thanks to our friends at Quick Quack Car Wash, make sure you stop by Quick Quack Car Wash and tell them you heard it on the Monty Show. But take note, man, because
see what he did there? Take note, and it's the Utah Jazz, and that's like their hashtag now that they got it back from Apple, and
but notice that you move through the line very quickly at Quick Quack Car Wash. We'll be there today, in fact, because I have to get a car wash today. But you'll note that the line goes by very quickly. The people are friendly. That's the biggest thing at Quick Quack Car Wash is that the people who work there are friendly.
Yeah.
And there are so many car washes where the people won't look at you or they don't really talk to you. I love the fact that when you roll up to Quick Quack, you actually talk to somebody. You don't talk to a machine or a box. You actually talk to somebody. And they're friendly. They're super nice. It's super fast. It's super fun. I love going to Quick Quack. So should you. They bring us the biggest stories in sports. And I do think this Russell Westbrook Lakers situation, I don't think he comes to the Lakers. I think ultimately he ends up in Indiana. That's my guess. And I think the Lakers wind up with a package of players from Indiana, which I think makes a lot of sense. But I think the Jazz are in a really good position, and I think pleasantly surprised is the word that I would use about the production they've gotten. So, I think in the grand scheme of things, this game with Houston tonight, how many people are looking forward to the Houston Rockets tonight? Because I certainly am.
You should be.
I certainly am. Travis Bird also says, we are winning the lottery Then we're using the draft picks to get stars.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to win the lottery. Red Heart Norvis, good morning to you. What are your thoughts if OKC land Wembanyama playing with Holmgren and Giddey all healthy? Well, I mean, you're really good. You're really good. The problem is I don't believe that Oklahoma City should be able to tank like they're tanking. I mean, what's the point of doing what you're doing? I don't understand what the mission in Oklahoma City is, because you've tanked and you wind up with Chet and you still suck and you're still tanking. Like, it makes no sense to me. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's probably a money play, honestly. Not wanting to pay guys or whatever. I mean, that's a whole conversation on its own, honestly.
BB says, don't tank, but if we trade Conley and some others and make us lose, then I'm okay with that. And I think ultimately that's what happens in the second half, depending on how well this team continues to perform. Joe Parker says, you guys are full of chit. CHIT.
I think he probably meant to say Chet.
No. You guys are full of chit. Rookies get injured every year. Of course, they're more susceptible to getting hurt. Well, what does that mean?
Yeah, but what's your point?
Yeah, what's your point in that?
Yeah.
You know, Donovan Mitchell told me as a rookie he wanted to bring a championship to Utah, and play for the Knicks before his career was over. I have it on video. Well, I think he said that a lot. You know, Ruff's official, good morning. He says, LOL, they blame Utah and praise Don. Who's they? You mean us? Who's blaming Utah? I mean, nobody's blaming. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Let's see. Q Sam. Kawhi has degenerative knee already 2 games and load managing. It's not looking good, bro. I think they're smart because the Clippers are really good with or without Kawhi now. I think John Wall has been one of the stories of the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think the Clippers are the best team in the West, although my guy, Devin Booker last night.
You're a casual.
No, I'm not a casual. That's my dude. We are forever destined to be together. That feels awkward. Anyway, he's amazing.
Yeah, he was pretty good last night.
Did you say pretty good last night?
Yeah, pretty good.
Okay. Why are you being a hater today?
I'm not being a hater.
Are you mad at me for something?
No.
Like, why are you?
I'm not being a hater.
Do not speak about my homie like that. Do
Sorry
not.
if you're offended by that.
Do not. That is my soul brother. Do not speak about it.
Brother.
I am a big fan. I am. Uncle Jimmy says the Lakers will get VW. That would be amazing. Don't say that out loud. Don't say that out loud. Don't do it. Let's see. Mesh says this current Nets team is mediocre. Yes, they are. Yep. And it's frustrating. 7 through 9, no size and physicality. Unless they make a trade, that pick is looking good. What do we think the Nets are? I mean, are the Nets mediocre? Yes,
yeah,
now they are.
I think they're mediocre right now, and I think it's mostly because Ben is still trying to find his game. I think that
had a year and a half off.
Yeah, like I think, and this is kind of what I was speaking on before. I think it was last week we talked about the Nets a lot. Like they're not just going to roll in to this season and be championship good. Like they're gonna struggle a little bit to find that chemistry and find the flow of the game. And like Ben Simmons is going to have to understand that. That wasn't a foul on John Morant, but in that situation, in that moment in the game, you probably shouldn't be doing what you were doing right then and there. Right?
And it's not a foul at all.
It's not a foul at all. But again, that's not how the league is officiating.
So wait.
What I'm saying
do you think he played that wrong?
Yeah, I think that when it comes to guys like John Morant, speed guys who are really quick and can get by you, when you're trying to play like really tight defense on them, yeah, in the NBA, it's pretty good odds that you're going to get a foul called on you. I agree, it wasn't a foul. I thought it was good defense, 100%. But we know how they call the league. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
I would agree.
Like you have to, like Ben needs to figure out how not to foul out of games and how to choose his battles better. And the only way you do that is by playing more basketball.
Because I actually think he's been better.
Yeah.
He's been better than I thought he would be. I mean, he's never going to be – I still don't understand why he shoots left-handed. I don't get it. He is still an amazing defensive player.
Yeah.
And he is still an amazing fast break distributing point guard. There's no doubt about that. He makes them better, but – yeah. Mark Hale says, what happens if you get into an accident at Quick Quack Car Wash? Which sponsor will you support? Well, I don't know. You would have to tell me the situation. He's trying to play like the advocates. UtahAdvocates.com.
Right.
Right. San Diego State Aztecs says go Suns. DeLance says Lakers going to win a championship when they get shooters. Well, but that's why it's so puzzling that they didn't make the Royce O'Neal deal.
Or the Bogdanovich deal.
Or excuse me, the Bogdanovich deal. That's what's so surprising to me. You know, like I just don't, I've never understood. I don't know what they were doing this offseason. I really don't know what they were doing this offseason. I have no idea. Harris LaChance coming up at 8:30. Talking BYU football on the show. Stick around for that. Next hour, we'll get into Pac-12 power ranking.
Power!
How are the Utes behind the...
It's disrespectful, Sal, dude.
How is that possible?
Disrespectful.
I don't understand it. Football at 50, 10 of the hour, every hour on the Monty Show, presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. Hey, man, the Jacko Pizza is coming to an end. You know, Halloween is Monday. Are you a costume guy or not?
No.
In the comments right now, are you a costume guy or not? Let's talk about that. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase at $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Did you guys hear the latest Deshaun Watson lawsuit update? This is gnarly, bro. Okay, so last week a woman filed another civil lawsuit against Deshaun Watson.
Right.
And now, to answer that lawsuit, Deshaun Watson's attorneys made multiple filings in court. And in the lawsuit, this woman alleged that Watson paid her $300 for her services, quote, although her normal charge was $115 for an hour massage, and that Deshaun Watson demanded that she massage his private areas, and when she resisted having sex with him, that he continued to pressure her, and she acquiesced and performed a sex act on Deshaun Watson. Okay, well, if that's all we knew, then it'd be like, okay, well, fine, Deshaun, you might as well just cut a check. But then there was another filing.
But wait, there's more.
In a court filing Monday, attorneys for Deshaun Watson submitted exhibits where the woman is quoted as saying, "I would love to be in love and love to love him. I don't want to put criminal charges on him," Deshaun Watson. "It wasn't criminal. We were in there playing around. That was it. I'd like to see you again," the woman texted Deshaun. "We should hang out. Can you invest in me?" the woman asked Deshaun Watson in a direct message. Oh, man.
Bad luck, bro.
Okay, so right off the jump, what does this say about this? Because you know where this is going.
Oh, yeah, you know.
Now it's a cash grab, and she looks like a scorned lover who was never really a lover.
Yeah.
And she seems like she's upset that Deshaun Watson wouldn't have a relationship with her.
Yeah, that's exactly what it looks like. Yeah, 100%. And I think, now it paves the way for, all these women just want money guy to come into the comments and say that. And it's unfortunate because I think that Deshaun, Deshaun is someone who, has put himself in the situation repeatedly where he's alone in a room with a woman. And he is obviously initiating sexual contact and wants to do that stuff. And that's what I'm saying. I've never been someone who's like, yeah, none of these allegations are true and it's all smoke. Like, I've never been that guy.
My question is, and if you don't know this story, the question is, you file a lawsuit against Deshaun.
Yeah.
Then when the attorneys for Deshaun Watson question you, this is what you say to them. She said this in questioning by Deshaun Watson's attorneys, his paralegal, the attorney Rusty Harden, who represents Deshaun. The paralegal interviews her, and this is what she says. I want to love him. I want to be in love with him. I don't want to put criminal charges on him.
Yeah.
So I'll file a civil lawsuit so he'll pay me or fall in love with me.
Yeah, I mean, she's clearly...
This is insanity,
man.
Yeah,
dude. And this is where the water gets super murky, because now you have to start asking the question of, like, all right, well, how many other of these lawsuits were like this? And, like, what actually happened? This is the problem, and this is what I always get back to. And
I know.
And it's frustrating when this type of situation comes up with guys like Deshaun of a track record, because it's like, dude, if it's not on video, the truth is it's her word against his word. And because he's the rich super millionaire guy, he's going to wind up giving his money to these women to shut this down. And like, I'm not saying I feel sorry for him. I'm not saying I have empathy for him, because I don't. I believe you put yourself in that position, and whether you knew the risks or not, they were alive and well. So, like, I don't know what you say about this.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
Deshaun, you're not smart.
Yeah.
I just remind you, we know of 26 women who are alleged to have had sexual encounters with Deshaun while most of them were providing massage services, what have you. How many women do we not know about? And Deshaun is allegedly flew women in from other states to perform massages on him alone in a hotel suite in Houston and at times in the team hotel. You're not smart. And I'm not saying that all these lawsuits are his fault, but Deshaun has to take responsibility for these, because this is just stupidity now.
Yeah.
And you're seeing what happens when you're a professional athlete and you want sex and you pay for sex, which is how it looks. I'm not saying that's what Deshaun paid for, but when you have masseuses come into a hotel suite and you give them money after wearing a washcloth, come on, dude. Like, you're not smart. You're not smart. The Dallas Cowboys are not smart either. But the Dallas Cowboys traded for Jonathan Hankins and a 2024 seventh-round pick from the Las Vegas Raiders.
Right.
Because they can't stop the run. This seems like a pretty good trade for a stupid football team.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it makes... yeah, sure, it's a good trade, but I don't think it changes anything for him.
I think it helps their defense a lot, and I think what a lot of teams have been doing is a lot of teams have been running to get away from the Micah Parsons blitz rush. Like, the Cowboys are in the backfield regularly, but when you can't stop the run, it really lessens the impact of that.
Yeah.
Now the Raiders have a guy that they can put in the middle of that defensive front, and they can stop the Cowboys have a guy they can put in the middle of that defensive front and stop the run because they traded for Hankins from the Raiders. This feels like the Raiders helped the Dallas Cowboys get better.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, 100% could be. And I think that Jerry, busy circumcising some mosquitoes. And, yeah. Mosquitoes. But, yeah, look, you got to be able to stop the run. I mean, we've been beating this dead horse for how long now about BYU? Like, It applies to the NFL, too. Like, if you can't stop the run, you're going to be in really rough shape overall.
Yeah, they have 29 sacks. They've allowed just 1,296 net passing yards, the fewest by a Dallas defense since 2003. But they have 4 of the top 10 rushing offenses on their schedule coming up.
Yeah.
This was a really smart trade by a dumb football team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So this just seems like...
Yeah, it's logical. You understand why they did it. You get it.
Yeah. By the way, forks down. Did you guys see this thing at Arizona State? Arizona State President Michael Crow has publicly supported Ray Anderson, the athletic director, who has not only seen multiple failed football coaches, who's not only seen multiple failed basketball coaches, but really the Arizona State athletic program has been quite mediocre. And now Ray Anderson gets a massive vote of confidence from their president, Michael Crow. Arizona State, I don't know how many people agree with this, but I think having been there, I think we probably know this. Arizona State should be far better at sports than they are.
Yeah.
They have all kinds of athletes, all kinds of money, all kinds of boosters, beautiful stadiums, and they just don't win games. And you're going to support the athletic director. Are you at all surprised by that?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. I have to say, you went through a lot of different stuff there, and I think that, Herm was just the latest example of that. But, I look at the new hockey facility that they built that they're sharing with the Coyotes, and it was like, and this kind of speaks to the town that Phoenix is, with all due respect, but it was like major breaking news that the Sun Devils changed the center ice logo from the one big trident to the trident being on the left and the Coyotes logo being on the right. I mean, that's the kind of sports town you're talking about. So to me, it's amazing that you can't do better overall. Like, ASU's baseball program should be a powerhouse, like, literally every single year.
Yeah, I don't know. Salty Drunk says, you guys move too far away from sports talk, and the gossiping about what happens off the field is a snooze fest.
Cool. Hope you enjoy your nap.
All right, have a good day. Boyd Lake says, why does a guy like Deshaun even need to do this? Thank you. Thank you. And by the way, he has a smoking hot fiance. Like, I don't know why he needs to do this, Boyd. He can have a real relationship, however temporary, anytime he wants. He needs real help. Yes, he does. NY Monty fan says, did someone not tell Deshaun about groupies? Seriously, bro. Seriously. Hullabilly says, Cowboys defense has been solid, though. Their offense is a dumpster fire. Totally right. And I still don't think Dak Prescott makes them better. I until I see him play better, I don't. Yeah. San Diego State Aztec says, Hankins has to stay healthy. Your best ability is your availability. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I totally agree with that. I mean, if he stays healthy, they're a much better team. And I just think if they want to stay healthy, you have to feed them Jacko pizzas.
911, what's your emergency?
Something is in my house.
I'm sorry, say again?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, can you describe it for me?
It smells like golden crust, freshly shredded cheese, and pepperoni.
Ma'am, we've traced the smell, and it's coming from inside your oven.
What do you mean?
It's a Papa Murphy's Jacko pizza, and it's just $10.
Ah, amazing.
Papa Murphy's.
Papa Murphy.
Pizza. Papa Murphy. Jacko pizza.
I know I say this every day. I know. I know I say this every single day. I am telling you right now that I will miss that commercial.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the greatest they've done.
I will miss that
and
commercial.
I'm curious if there's going to be a Christmas one, or like if we're going to get a Santa one or something, or like how festive they actually get over at the Papa Murphy's department.
We'll see. I'm not ready for Christmas. I'm not. I could be a total jerk about this.
Well,
but
once you get to November, it's Christmas time. You know, like you're into the season.
You know, we went to where were we the other day? Costco. And there's all the Christmas stuff is out of Costco already. And I just feel like I'm not.
And as we're talking about Christmas, the A word has apparently the National Weather Service has issued a hard freeze warning for South Jordan tonight.
Winter's here, dude. I guess I should just embrace it.
Yeah.
I don't want to wear a jacket. I am wearing my Kill Crew sweatshirt. By the way, if you don't have a Kill Crew sweatshirt.
It's in effect from 9 p.m. to 9 a.m., 12 hours.
Of a hard freeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have a Kill Crew sweatshirt, they don't advertise on the show, but I love Kill Crew. I do. It's awesome. I'm not ready to put on a winter coat.
Yeah.
I'm not. And I'm looking forward to it. I snowboard. I can't wait. Can't wait to be in Tahoe, Mammoth, Denver. I'm super stoked.
Yeah.
I'm just not ready for Christmas. I'm not. I feel like every year this happens. All of a sudden it's oh, I got to get Halloween candy. Better bring out the Christmas tree. I feel like that's how it goes. Football starts and all of a sudden it's well, okay, Costco's got Christmas decorations out.
Yeah.
And Mrs. Monty now wants to go on some huge excursion and go cut down a Christmas tree. She's amazing. My wife, we would not do Halloween. We would not do...
She does a great job decorating.
We would not do anything if it was up to me. I would have a stripper pole and a 70-inch TV in my living room.
Look, Deshaun, take it easy, okay? Relax, okay?
That'd be the house, man. That'd be it. And I'd have the smoker in the kitchen.
If it was you would put lights on the smoker and put all the ornaments on the smoker.
Yeah,
huh?
I'd be hey, we decorated.
Yeah, look at the smoker. That's great.
You know. But she's amazing. But I'm not ready for Christmas. You go to the store. Do you guys like that when you go to the store and we walked in the Home Depot the other day again for the 9,000th time building this studio.
Yeah.
We walked into Home Depot the other day and they had those pine cones that smell like awesomeness.
Yes. I'm a big fan of that.
I'm just not ready. I'm not ready.
festive.
Do you decorate your apartment at all?
I don't. I've been getting into some candles lately for whatever reason. I bought one candle. Now I'm damn, I like having a candle around.
Okay. Boyd Lake says that smell is coming from inside your oven. Amazing. Cue the Beavis and Butthead laugh. See what he... Okay. All right. There you go. Okay, Salty Drunk is having one of those days.
Oh, God.
He says, are you saying I'm not welcome if I give constructive criticism?
No. I said you can enjoy your nap if you think that we're,
So he's upset that we're talking about Deshaun Watson's personal life. It's leading the National Football League news cycle. It is go to any National Football League site, and what do you think? Go to ESPN.com right now. What do you think the number one story is?
I'm for real.
Deshaun Watson's court filings.
I'm for real.
Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
nobody said you weren't welcome. But
Yeah.
you're not like this. So this is kind of what I think is so interesting in life. Oddly enough, people want to come in and they want to say snarky things, or they want to come in with some tone or some attitude. And then when you give that tone or attitude back, it's like, oh, well, I'm not welcome here anymore.
Oh, you guys just can't handle the criticism.
I didn't say you're not welcome, but if you're gonna say that what we're talking about is boring, then cool. Like take a nap and come back in the next hour, and maybe you'll be more entertained. I mean, what am I supposed to say?
The thing that I think most people forget is things like this. We're going to talk about Kanye coming up.
Excuse me, it's Ye.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to talk about Ye.
Thank you.
The Kardashian curse. Like,
All due respect.
Tom Brady's divorce.
Yeah.
Ye, the Kardashian curse. Like, I mean, these are the biggest stories in sports, man.
I want more.
When you're a professional athlete, your off the court, ice, field, life thing matters. People care.
Yes.
Like, if you don't think this Deshaun Watson thing is a big deal, you're just not paying attention.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that's
a huge deal,
at all
man.
off limits.
Yeah.
Like Hullabilly says it's Ye, LOL, Jake. I would like to formally apologize to the guy, formerly known as Kanye West.
What would I do without you?
Who named his daughter East? Didn't they name her Northwest? Excuse me.
Bro, what are you talking about?
So that
man?
her name would be Northwest. Now is her name North Ye?
Who the fuck are you?
What do you do? You change your name to Ye. NY Monty fan says, man, I will say there are some miserable people in this chat. People like this are exhausting. Then if you disagree with them or think positively, they target you. Get a life. Wow.
Okay, that's a little harsh. That's a little harsh. Jesus Christ, that's a little harsh.
Cheese and rice.
Sorry.
Cheese and rice.
Cheese and rice, brown rice, not white rice, though. Okay,
Thank you.
relax. Thank you. Anyway, point is,
Gumbilicious says Northeast. Oh. Why are you talking about all this gossip stuff and them
You're
having
a douche.
yeast? What are you doing? Anyway.
Get a fast pass for Douche Mountain because you're a douche.
Jonathan Ponce says, yee. Right? I don't know. Do you guys care about people's personal lives? I find it fascinating.
well, I think so here's the deal. I think the personal life stuff is what brings athletes or people on that level of life back down to earth. It's like, oh, that's Tom Brady, guy who's won 6 Super Bowls and like greatest of all time, like that level of dude has issues with his wife or like has at-home issues or is getting divorced or is, I think it just brings it brings them back to earth. It makes them relatable. So, yeah, in my opinion, I think this life stuff is by far the most compelling content that's available to us in sports.
It makes them us.
Yeah, dude.
That's why I care so much, because Tom Brady having arguments with his wife, it brings him more relatable to us. Like, he has, all we think about Tom Brady is he's a great quarterback, and then they hang him up on a shelf, and next Sunday he comes out and he's a great quarterback again.
I want better.
Like, it makes them human.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Like Deshaun Watson, Deshaun Watson, it humanizes him, or any of these other people, it just humanizes them.
Like, what is the point in just talking about the fact that Tom Brady's almost made it routine winning Super Bowls year after year? Well, I mean, what's the point? Like, yeah, we get it. He won. Like, that's awesome. But when we're talking about divorces or Deshaun or anything that happens, like, that's the real material. These guys, and I seriously think this is what leads to most of the issues in these conversations, like in the chat or overall. You understand? These are people, man. These are human beings. Like, yes, you only see them on Sunday or when they're out in their given profession.
Yeah.
But they go home, and I guarantee you There are guys who you idolize who have issues at home that you will never, ever know about because they're that good at handling it.
Yeah. And I look at Donovan Mitchell. What happened when he wanted to get into critical race theory and teaching history? And
yeah, he got beat over the head with just play basketball.
Yeah. Hullabilly says, people disagree with me all the time. Everyone has an opinion. If you can't handle that, that's your problem. Well, what I would say about that is that's what makes this show great, in my opinion. We can all come together every day, and generally we'll do like 3,000 views a day per video.
Yeah,
that's 3,000 people sharing opinions, and if we do 500 or 600 comments a day, that's 500 or 600 people that are sharing their opinions. There's nothing wrong with disagreements, but you have to be open to the fact that your opinion is not the only opinion.
Yeah, and I also think that when you like James has been here a long time. And I appreciate James. I appreciate James is in Australia. I appreciate that you found the show and you supported us. We appreciate that. But I think I do think it is a bit unfair to come in with a little salty, which is your brand, which is fine. That's not unexpected. But then be upset if, we just hand that back to you. It's just unrealistic.
Justin Solis, another longtime listener, says, y'all free to talk about whatever you want. It's your show. But I couldn't care less about Watson. And listen, I think it's not our show. And I know that we're the ones who do the show. I get it. It's your show. It's our show. It's all of our show. Without you guys, and I think we try to walk this walk all the time. Without you guys, what show do we have?
Hey, guys.
If you guys don't go to Barbecue Pit Stop, barbecuepitstop.com, or if you guys don't go to Quick Quack or Papa Murphy's and use our code, or we don't have a show.
Fucking A.
Yeah, you guys supporting us and being here every day, the 150,000 unique views a month that we get in Utah, and almost 200,000 views a month across the world, that makes this show possible. So we care what you guys think. I can't tell you the number of people that I've become friends with just off of this show.
Yeah.
Or the number of people that I was talking to a guy yesterday who again said, I'm getting a divorce and my son is really mad at me because he blames me for grinding. And you guys talking about, this is a guy I was telling you about Tri-Day trading.
Yeah.
He was saying he's working 3 jobs. He works a full-time 9-to-5 job as a pipe fitter. He's essentially a guy who does plumbing. He's a union pipe fitter.
Yeah,
and
not easy work.
Not easy work, and that's what he said. He said, I bust my ass all day. He's like, I was on a job site at 3:30 yesterday morning, freezing cold, because we had to get this job done by noon yesterday because they needed to pour concrete. Right? He's like, I was on that job site until 6 o'clock tonight. I came home, and he does Amazon. It went the side hustle. And his wife is upset with him because they lost $300 on his Amazon side hustle last month. And he was saying, you guys talking about the stock market, you guys talking about Tri-Day trading, you guys talking about how you left your full-time job at Yelp. This is how much he knew about our show, that we used to work at Yelp, we left our 9-to-5, and we've pretty much risked our entire life on this building that we're in right now.
Yeah.
He's like, that was inspiring to me, and I want to get into Tri-Day trading. And it's just one of those things where that's what this show's about. And those conversations every day. So James in Australia, you matter to us. You absolutely matter to us.
Yeah.
Guys like Ruff's Official, who on most days is not fun to deal with. But it just is what it is, man. You don't have to agree with us, but your opinion matters here. That's super important to us. On the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. BB says, love your show. Listen near the end of my job every night. Way entertaining. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Appreciate that. What do you do, by the way?
Yeah, what do you do,
Yeah,
BB?
what's your job?
C says, spot on, Monty. I'm very conservative, but I love all the different views on this show. It's good to hear different views. It is.
Yeah, and I think the art of that, it's really interesting, and I'm not trying to take this down any type of political conversation or anything, but I do think that, generally speaking, I mean, the art of just having a conversation, it could be about, the color of my face. And and I feel like lately in our country, it's like, hey, if I say my face is, gray and you say it's, pastel white, we're going to cut each other's throats off. You know what I mean? That's where I feel like we've been lately, just generally speaking. So I think that's kind of the essence of what we try to do here is You know, like, yeah, cool. Like, let's talk about it.
Be open-minded. Nobody's wrong.
Yeah.
Sports, we try to do this thing where you're wrong and I'm right. Nobody's wrong.
Yeah.
Was it a mistake to trade Donovan Mitchell? Well, I think it may have been. You think it wasn't. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Like, that's what this show is. That's why this show is great.
Yeah.
Ruff's official says, see, y'all ask for it.
It is what it is, man. I mean, it is a talk show for a reason, right?
Yeah. Is his name Tanner Plummer? No, Tanner's my guy. Stephen Barnard says, I listen to you guys every morning while I'm working. Appreciate you, Stephen. NY Monty fan says, Salty Drunk, you are the man. I love how much you like the NBA and your takes. It's important for all of us to have our thought process challenged even in sports. I agree.
Hey, guys.
Salty Drunk says, just like you guys, I won't give vanilla comments like Tanner. If I don't like something, I will give my opinion.
Hey, guys.
Just like the gazillion times I've praised your show. Yeah, dude, I'm not upset with the things. There are some days, though, where, maybe take a laxative before
just
you
get
show
some,
up
just
on
get
the,
some, dude, before you turn the show on, just pull out a 4X Gold, get some pasta, and turn the show on.
By the way, we had amazing tortellini yesterday. We were going to go to the break. Jake's on a club sandwich run right now.
Oh, dude. It's my entire life. I club sandwich, fries, and like three things of ranch. I'm good to go.
He's all about this club sandwich. And admittedly, the Break Sports Bar and Grill has an awesome club sandwich.
Now, and again, this is a traditional. It's cut in a triangle. It's got layers. Like, it's everything you want.
Stop. I'm hungry already.
Yeah, dude.
But we had a business call. We had a call with one of our lawyers yesterday. About some business stuff we're doing. And so we had to be home at a certain time, 4 o'clock. So we go home and we had tortellini in the fridge.
Bomb.
Jake made tortellini while I was on this conference call, and it was simply me. Like, I'm on this conference call yesterday. So I'm on the phone. Me and Mrs. Monty are on this conference call. And he brings me this tortellini, and I'm just like eating it with my hand. I was so hungry. And it was amazing. It was amazing. Hey, look at that. San Diego State Aztec gives us a $20 tip. Wow, appreciate you, dude. Thank you. For the quote-unquote risk-taking guys and Mrs. Monty, you're an enjoyable part of my day. Appreciate you,
I appreciate that.
Appreciate you very much. Thank you. Justin Sal says, I make a club sandwich for lunch at least 3 times a week.
Dude, I'm telling you. I mean,
they're so good.
Like, I know sourdough bread is not the best for you, but my God, is it good.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, Justin Salas, when are you moving back, dude? Aren't you...
Oh, yeah. Isn't your time coming soon?
Like, really soon.
Yeah, I thought that was soon.
Maybe by the end of the year, I think he said. Holabilly said, I made some ravioli with pesto sauce last night, and it was fire.
Okay, I'm not a huge pesto guy, but ravioli is absolutely bomb.
But you also, what kind of sauce did you eat on your tortellini yesterday?
I had some sauce.
You did?
Yeah. Oh. I didn't have as much as you, but I had some sauce on it.
I was noticing that while I was on that call. I was like,
I won't even run from it. I'm not a huge sauce guy. I'm not.
You're a butter guy.
Yeah, I love a nice butter and Parmesan, and like that's kind of my jam. But that sauce. I don't remember how you pronounce it, but that sauce is good.
Yeah. December 16th, Justin Saul says.
There you go.
A moving truck is booked. Nice.
Atta boy.
Steve Barnard says, my wife made some HelloFresh pasta last night.
Damn.
HelloFresh is it's a food service if you guys don't know that. It's pretty dang good. New York Monty fan says, I agree with that Ruff's official. They should be able to voice disappointment in their favorite teams. What did Ruff say? We get a lot of comments. Where's Ruff? Aren't critical comments the same as Washington fans having sell the team signs? Yeah, I agree. I think they should be able to have sell the team signs.
Yeah,
I think
totally
it's ridiculous that the team. What Ruffs is talking about there, if you missed it yesterday on Football 50, one of our stories was that the Washington Redskins had their security team take signs and make people put down. These fans had these signs they were holding up that just said "sell the team." Pointing at the owner, Daniel Snyder. Well, the owners clearly had security take those signs. And I just thought it was stupid. It was, I mean, you come on now. Come on now. You know, NY Monty fan says, I haven't tried HelloFresh. My wife was thinking about it. Is it worth it? We used to do HelloFresh. Steve Barnard, yeah, what's your opinion on it? We used to do it.
You know, the thing with HelloFresh, I think that you have to consider is you just have to be disciplined about it. Like, you have to, it's not exactly cheap, I would say, but it does. Like, if you compare it to, well, I guess it depends on your life setup. So, like, I don't know, NY Monty fan, if you have kids or, like, what the deal is, but if it's, like, just you and your significant other, I think it's probably worth it financially. If you have kids, I'm not so sure that it's then worth it financially because then, you know, you're probably over that $300 mark or whatever.
But it really helped us. Like, you can customize your box with HelloFresh, and you can make it vegetarian. Mrs. Monty's pretty much a hardcore vegetarian. And I'm like 6 out of 7 days I don't eat meat unless Jake is on a club sandwich run.
Right.
But it helps because you can really customize it. They do gluten-free. They do all that stuff. We really liked it. Gumbylicious says Olive Garden fettuccine.
Yes,
my guy.
dude.
So good.
Yes.
So good. Charles Lavia says, I bought some Marie Callender's frozen pasta last night. It was good. Yes. I love, like, you know those Stouffer's where they make, like, they put, like, mac and, like, beef in the same container? I can't remember what it's called.
Like hamburger helper.
Yeah, it's so good, though.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That's right, T.
Frozen food's not great for you, but, man. Dude, you know what I was craving the other day? Those stupid frozen breaded chicken patties from Costco.
Yeah.
They're just stupid good, and for no reason.
Yeah.
There's no reason that they should be good.
Yeah.
And they are amazing. It's so easy to eat bad. Oh my goodness, Big Dog O-Town. Where have you been?
Damn.
Big Dog O-Town was a regular commenter, but I think I offended the show when I said BYU is racist. No, you didn't. Since then, I've been screened, but I'm good. I still love the show. Go Jazz. Big Dog O-Town,
No,
you have
you're
not.
You're not.
We have never screened.
Yeah.
We don't screen comments, and you should know this too. Our platform on YouTube, it depends on the language you use. YouTube will filter your comments, and I don't see that, and I don't have anything to do with that. So no,
Yeah.
Big Dog O-Town, you were never
Yeah.
screened.
Yeah.
Jaron Eccles says Blackhawks won again last night. Yes, they did.
Let's
1
go.
point out of the division lead. Thank you very much. TV dinners. Oh man, do you remember? You guys don't because you're all younger than me, but. I can tell you when I was a kid, we would get TV dinners once a week. My mom would allow us to go to you remember when you were a kid, you could go to the frozen aisle and pick out anything you wanted? We used to pick out either a pot pie, a frozen pot pie, amazing, or we would be able to get those TV dinners, and I want to say Swanson.
Uh-huh.
I used to love Salisbury steak TV dinners.
Yeah.
And they'd be in the little aluminum container. You take off the foil, pop it in the oven. The TV dinner mashed potatoes and the TV dinner corn with the Salisbury steak. Oh,
Yeah.
please. And my brother would always steal my, like the dessert. They would give you like a meat, a vegetable, mashed potatoes, and like a dessert.
Yeah.
And my favorite dessert was like those frozen like sugary apples.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God. Dude.
Yeah.
Hullabilly, stop. Nobody cares about the Wild. Keep your wild opinions to yourself.
Yes.
They're not welcome here. They are. I'm just kidding. Hungry Man, yes. Kids' cuisine brownies were amazing. Oh, my God. Swanson's with apple cobbler dessert. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Jumpman James says, I just do my own shopping. Yeah, me too. Wow. I don't know what happened here. I can't read your comment, so I don't know. That's a foreign language comment.
Looks like it's from Facebook.
Is it from Facebook? I have no idea. That could be from Facebook.
Yeah, you see the logo. Like, take your mouse off of the thing.
Yeah.
You see how the Facebook logo's right there?
Yeah, I don't know what that does. If anybody wants to tell me what that says, I don't know. I have no idea what that says, but it's fine. Let's see. Jerem Patterson says the good old days when parents left for date night, left babysitter $20 for pizza, and you could get so much. The good old days, man.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth? My mom was never really a babysitter fan, but when she would leave us with we used to go to our neighbor's house, or they would bring their kids over to our house. And the thing that we always did was we would always make desserts. Like when we stayed with our neighbor, we'd always make these incredible desserts. You guys probably don't remember, but they used to have like these cake mixes, and you could put like different stuff in the cake mix.
Yeah.
And they would make these amazing like little loaf pan things. And they would make like 5 or 6 of those, and we would mash all those up into the different flavors. And you remember those chocolate syrup bottles? And we would just take the chocolate syrup. Oh man, it was amazing,
bro.
Some of those dessert nights that are like, this lady would toss popcorn, fresh popped popcorn, in sugar, and it was just incredible.
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah,
you know. Salty Drunk says, "Where is our little mascot Tanner this morning?"
He's probably not up yet.
I have no idea.
Yeah, he's probably not up yet.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
I don't know. He's a hard worker though. That guy takes the train to school and works a full-time job, and Now my Monty fan says, I love that I now know other people love food just as much as I do. I should be 900 pounds. No, you should. I am 900 pounds. You know, my left leg is 900 pounds.
Right.
Fat? Yes, fat humor that's where I go. One more. The Avs and Stars will end up at the top of the division anyways. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The Colorado Avalanche are good. Obviously, the Utah Grizzlies, who we cover daily, are in the Avalanche organization.
Yeah.
The Avalanche, the AHL, which is AAA, Colorado Eagles, and the Utah Grizzlies are the organization's stocked. The goaltending in the Colorado Avalanche system, the forwards, the Avalanche are going to be good for a very long time. A very long time. Let's see. When is the baby coming, Jake? Sounds like Monty wants to babysit for you.
Well.
Yeah, when's the baby coming, Jake?
I don't know. There's no plans for a baby.
Tomorrow could be a very interesting show.
Right.
Y'all going to talk about Taylor Swift being fat phobic? No, probably not.
No.
I am not again,
that's out there.
We've wasted 25 minutes in not talking sports this morning now, but I can tell you this. I am not a Taylor Swift guy. I know that dudes fawn over her. She is just not my slice of pie. I'm Jennifer Aniston all day long.
Boom.
And we've had this conversation, I know.
Yes, we have.
I flipped on the tube the other day, and there was an old version of Friends. Good night.
That's right, T.
Dude, Jennifer Aniston
she
back
was
in the day.
Smoking.
My God.
Dude.
You know. It was, yeah. I caught your Grizzlies show, Monty. It was great. Thank you, Salty Drunk. Appreciate that. Where do you want to go here, Jake? We could go back to the NBA. Boyd Lake says Taylor Swift? Nope. Thank you.
Well.
See, I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
Are you a Taylor Swift guy?
I like some of her older stuff, but not really. No, to be honest with you, no.
I can't name probably a single song. And I can, one of her songs is running through my head right now.
Please don't. Don't sing it.
No.
I can't.
No. Nope.
When I first saw you.
Wow.
I'm sorry if you're offended by that.
Storytelling? What's the name? I can't think of that song.
Okay.
You were Romeo and I was Juliet and we first fell in love and then you broke my heart. You know the song I'm talking about,
Oh my
right?
God, yes, I do.
Yeah,
that's
Taylor,
what I mean, but that's from the olden days.
Taylor Swift is,
That's when she was a youngin'.
It's a youngin'. Hullabilly says
Dua Lipa, yes.
Dua Lipa, can I get it?
Yeah,
what's Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa's fine.
Who is that?
Google her. She's beautiful.
I don't know who Dua Lipa is.
Oh, you know her
Should I
music.
know?
Yeah, no, you know her music though. Yeah, Dua Lipa.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah, Dua Lipa's beautiful. Yeah.
Wow, is that real? Like, what
the
is
one? The brunette is her natural.
This one's not half bad. Are you serious? Who is Dua Lipa? What
She's
is
a pop
she doing?
star.
What does she do, and how do I not know of this person?
Yeah, Dua Lipa's a huge star, absolutely massive star.
Okay,
hello.
Hello, that was the wrong thing. Should I know her?
Yeah, you're being kind of a casual on this right now. Dua Lipa is absolutely.
So
I
should know Dua Lipa.
Yeah, on some level.
What
yes.
song does she sing?
Oh, a ton. I mean, she makes music that definitely would trend on like social media and like is big star.
How do I not know this?
Let's see.
How do I not know? I'm loading pictures of Dua Lipa right now, by the way, so that we can all bask in the glory.
I think her biggest song is called One Kiss. Let's see.
There she is. That's Dua Lipa. Heyo.
Yeah.
She lifts. Heyo.
Yeah, and she collabs with Calvin Harris a lot.
Good night. Like, she's an attractive girl.
Yeah, dude, she's really talented. Like,
I've never heard of Dua Lipa.
Well,
I've never.
That's you know.
Salty Drunk says Dua Lipa. Hello. My daughter loves to listen to Dua Lipa. Steve Barnett.
Yeah.
Did a full 180.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Yeah, we've now gone down the rabbit hole of Dua Lipa.
Salty Drunk says Dua Lipa does the Elton John mix.
Yeah, totally.
Okay, I don't know what that means. Dua Lipa needs some thickness. Is she very thin?
Not that I knew, but
okay. Justin Saul says looking like Tom Brady lost his wife and is not even going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty rough year for Buddy.
Yeah, no kidding. Giselle B has been listening to that Taylor Swift on loop. We never getting back together. at Hullabilly. Like, that's the problem with Taylor Swift. All of her songs are about, oh, you jerk, you broke my heart. Ah. Wow. Her and the British lady who was
Adele.
heavy set, Adele. Oh, you broke my heart, you prick. Ah. Those are what their songs are about. Am I wrong? Am I wrong?
No.
Am I wrong?
No.
When women get broken up with, who they going to go listen to?
Yeah. Yeah.
Adele, because her heart's broken.
I've listened to Adele.
Gumbylicious says the best Taylor Swift song is the one with the goat.
Okay.
Okay. I have no idea what that's a reference to.
I don't know that reference.
If that's a joke about copulation, I have no idea. Tom Brady has been pronounced dead before. Too soon now. Yeah, probably. Real quick, let's talk about Pac-12 power rankings. Because I'm interested to see what you guys think. Look at these TV numbers. This is through week 8 of TV numbers. And if you notice at number 3 and 4, BYU and Utah in the West are number 3 and 4. BYU's got 10.4 million. Utah's got 9.88. And I have a feeling in week 9, Utah will pass BYU. And the other thing that's amazing to me is that when you look at the Pac-12 power rankings right now, and obviously Utah should be on top of that, right? There's nobody doubts that, right?
Right.
Okay. Oregon should be on top of that. Nobody doubts that.
Yeah.
But looking at the Super West Pac-12 power rankings, Oregon number 1, UCLA number 2. Even though UCLA got trucked, how is UCLA number 2?
Right.
USC is 3 and Utah is 4. Somebody explain to me how Utah A is behind USC when they beat USC. And how is Utah not 3? Okay, you want to say that UCLA beat Utah? Okay, I can almost get down with that.
Right.
You look at these TV numbers that are on the screen, Utah is outdrawing UCLA. Like, how are you 4th? Somebody explain that to me. It makes no sense to me that Utah is 4th. Is Utah getting the respect that they deserve?
Well, no, obviously not. I think Utah is I think that speaks to people's belief or lack of belief in Utah. I think people are basically with that ranking saying that they don't think that Utah is consistently better than SC, that they barely edged them out. And it's like, well, they beat SC. They should be ahead of SC. I completely agree.
They should be.
And I think that the Oregon thing is really interesting to me because Oregon's had a bunch of home games here that they've kind of built their season on. And Bo Nix is notorious for being a terrible road quarterback and a really good home quarterback. So
he did beat Washington State. Utah's got to win. I think this game tomorrow night is must win for Utah.
Yeah.
Like, any conversation about Utah ends if they lose that game.
Yeah, and in tomorrow's show, we're going to detail that game and really get into that game. And I think that, yeah, on a surface level, it is a huge game. I think, because it's on a Thursday, because it's up in Pullman, because you're going up against a Washington State team that is always a pain in the ass. Like, yeah, it is a big game. But again, I'll just keep saying, I do think this was kind of disrespectful to the Utes. How are you putting them behind a team that they beat, number 1? And then number 2, Oregon, I have trouble with Oregon being considered the best team. Maybe today they're the best team. Okay, sure. And that's kind of how they do it. They do it week by week, so I kind of get it. But I don't believe that Oregon's actually the best team in the Pac-12.
Who is it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I don't know that there is a best one right now because I don't think we've seen a team really go on the road against a formidable, equal-level opponent and win. That could have been SC if they had beat Utah at Rice-Eccles, but they didn't. And that's my point. Could
have been Utah if they'd have gone to the Rose Bowl and won.
It could have been Utah.
Could be Utah if Utah goes to Oregon and wins.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I think for Utah, you've got Washington State ahead of you. Obviously, Oregon's coming. You're going to Oregon. You have opportunities here. But I just don't love that they're putting Utah behind SC when Utah beat SC.
Yeah, my power rankings would be Oregon 1. I think I would put Utah 2nd. But they lost to UCLA. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Put UCLA 2.
Yeah.
But, Oregon was never – UCLA was never in that game.
And that's the problem.
Never.
So then with that conversation, you have a problem saying that SC is the 4th best team in the conference because we know they're better than that. So That's the problem.
But the two games that are left on the schedule that really matter, in my opinion, are SC and UCLA, and Oregon and Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, I cannot tell you how big this game is tomorrow night for Utah. I mean, it is. You look at you look at it. It's prime time. It's Thursday. It's on its own. It's Pullman. It's a tough trip. I mean, this is a massive, massive game for Utah, and I think that you have to find a way to go in there and win convincingly. There's no doubt, and it is absolutely one of the biggest stories in sports, brought to you by our good friends at Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure that you stop by Quick Quack Car Wash. Keep your paint protected. We have a hard freeze warning out. You know that winter is pretty much here now. You got to choose Quick Quack Car Wash.
Play-Doh? I have no idea. Lipstick? Apparently my car door looked like a canvas. Quick Quack! It's my saving grace. No one else needs to know the madness of my journey. Just me.
There you go. Quick Quack Car Wash brings you the biggest stories in sports. Let's get your thoughts in here. And Morris says, Pac hasn't had a good win outside of conference. Well, Oregon getting boat raced by Georgia. Certainly did not help.
Yeah.
Certainly did not help. But Georgia, Florida this week is interesting. I don't know that that's a slam dunk for Georgia, by the way. But it probably is. I probably am making too much of it. And Morris says USC is hyped way too much. They're very good. They are very, very good. I think we'll see.
Yeah.
Travis Bird says Utah wins by 11. That would help. Josh Lovren says Utah has to win big tomorrow. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Holabilly says go Utes. Boyd Lake says viewers, isn't a good measure for how well a team is playing. Watching BYU train wreck is drawing plenty of attention.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I mean,
wow, Boyd Lake.
I mean, I can't blame him for saying that.
Yeah, we'll talk to Harris LoChance coming up 1 hour from now on the show. Brought to you by our good friends at Papa Murphy's. San Diego State says Utah, the Rodney Dangerfield of the Pac-12. No respect at all.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Jonathan Jansen says it speaks to the Pac-12 having awful media deals. It absolutely does.
Yeah.
I think that's very true. Kurt Meyer says, I think everyone thinks the Holy War needs to reside in the Big 12. Amen to that. Bring Utah to the Big 12. Absolutely. NY Monty fan says, people all turn their heads to watch a train wreck, just not in sports. Well, I think there's a lot of people, BYU would,
Yeah.
BYU's on a Friday night against East Carolina. Does that game draw?
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah.
You think it does?
Yeah, absolutely. It's at Lavelle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think people are going to – will it be a sellout?
I don't know about a sellout, but I think there will definitely be a good-sized crowd there for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a light crowd. It's going to be cold. I think it's going to be a light crowd, and I think it's going to be a smaller TV number. Okay. I could be wrong, but we'll see. Travis Bird says Utah will go to Oregon, beat him down, show him the town, take donuts as a trophy, and Utah Utes will win the Rose Bowl, and we will have a big yellow parade in Salt Lake City.
There you go.
Okay, let's hope. Teddy Wayman says 38-21 Utah. Wow, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Boyd says it will draw, and it will be a tough game for the Cougs. It will. Casey Finlandson says, I'll be there at LES. Listen, I think this is a really interesting time in BYU football.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can overstate it, and I don't think I am overstating it. I think we're watching what could be the beginning of the end of Kalani Sitake at BYU.
Right.
I think this is a huge, huge period of time. You have to find a way to find a way. Yeah. You have to. Because if what's the worst? You're not losing to Utah Tech, with all due respect. You're not losing to Utah Tech. If you only get 6 wins this year, because you got to think the Boise game's up in the air, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you only get 6 wins this year, what does that say about you? What does that say about you going into the Big 12? Like, you're not firing Kalani Sitake after the season. That's not happening. You will mandate big changes on his coaching staff, though.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And when you start mandating that a guy make changes on his staff,
yep,
you're taking control. I mean, to one extent, you're taking his balls out. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're telling him you're going to hire a new defensive coordinator. You're telling him you're going to hire a new special teams coach. and you're mandating. And if we've learned anything about Kalani, he is not a guy that likes to be mandated to. Ask Ty Detmer.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, that is absolutely it. That's a critical moment in time at BYU. There's no doubt about that, because you're not really getting, any kind of performance on either side of the ball. If we're being honest, like, defense is a huge problem, but was the offense very good against Liberty? It wasn't. I mean, we have a lot of questions about BYU's offense. There's no doubt about that.
I think there's just questions about the program. Like, let's just tell it how it is. Like, there are questions.
Yeah, I mean, there is because there's a lot of talent there. The frustrating thing is, it's not like BYU has a talent deficit. There is a ton of talent on that roster.
Yeah.
And you're just not using them well.
Yeah.
And now he's the guy calling the shots. If they are not exponentially better, significantly better defensively Friday night, how many people are going to be like, well, now what? I mean,
I think if you're not asking that question now, I don't know what question you're asking. I mean, I think that, this needs to be said. This is like week 8, right? Like, this is week 8, I think it is. Like, you're at the 3/4 point of your season here. Like, this isn't week 2.
No.
And so if we're still sitting here like, well, they got to work on this or work on that, well, maybe the viewpoint's like an issue. Like that's why I say, like, I feel like the too nice thing is their biggest problem. It's at the heart of everything. Like, you're too nice about Tuiaki. You're too nice about players. You're too nice about rotating guys
that
in
train.
And out. Yeah, because ultimately what happens when you're too nice? It festers. It allows the team to operate in this mode where they're just kind of floating through the week. And I love Harrison. We're going to hear from him, in 50 minutes at 8:30. We've talked to Harris every Wednesday, basically, for the entire season. And last Wednesday, he said they were all pissed off, that they had lost, and that there was frustration, and they were working hard on fixing some things and doing some things. So I believe Harris LaChance when he says that. But the thing is Harris LaChance is in the offensive lineman's room. I wonder what the defensive coordinator's room looks like. I wonder which room Kalani Sitake is hanging out in, or what he's doing. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to stiffen the program. You have to, there has to be a change in the fabric of the program. That's my opinion. I think they are way too nice overall.
That is a very dangerous place to be. I mean, that's not easily done.
No, it's not.
I mean, I think this goes back to 70 points versus 50 points.
Yeah.
This goes back to letting teams slap you in the face last season. Like, I don't disagree with that at all. Justin Salas, do you guys think Alabama will make the playoff? I think that's up in the air. I was looking at their schedule the other night, and I think when you look at Alabama's schedule, there are some big games left on that schedule. They've got at LSU this week. They'll win that game. At Ole Miss, that's the game I wonder if they can win. I mean, that's Lane Train. There's a lot of vitriol there.
Lane Train.
Then they get Austin Peay and Auburn. Like, the next 2 weeks will determine their fate. The problem is when you look at the SEC, I mean, probably the national champions coming out of the East. I mean, if you look at the SEC East with Georgia and Tennessee, I mean, the problem for Georgia and Tennessee is Georgia and Tennessee are going to run into each other.
Yeah.
And you would expect Georgia to win that game, and then Tennessee's probably out. So if Bama wins out, I think they'll be there, but I don't think they're going to win a national championship. I think Georgia, the question is, has Georgia had a good quality opponent? And I would tell you they haven't. Oregon, Samford, South Carolina, Kent State, Missouri, Auburn, and Vandy. That's who they've played.
Tennessee's sitting right there.
Florida this weekend. Then you're home for Tennessee, Mississippi State on the road, Kentucky on the road, and Georgia Tech.
So you got some opponents there.
They have, come on.
Tennessee's good, man.
Tennessee's but that's the game. But it's also in Athens, so they're not going to have Kentucky. Kentucky can win games at home.
See, this is why I hate the AP though, because it goes both ways. So it's like, oh well, the game's in Athens. Well, that means they should win that game, right? And then it's like, oh well, but it's Tennessee though. I thought you said Tennessee was a really good team. Well, they are, but it's at home, so they should win that game. Okay, well let's throw that one out. How about Kentucky? Well, we all know they're better than Kentucky, but I thought you said Kentucky was a top 10 team. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, it goes both ways, and that's what I think that the issue is. It's hard to it's hard to really pinpoint what's a quality opponent and what's not. It's almost like it's got to be a top 10 team on the road. Like, that's what a quality win is, I feel like.
I think if you're Alabama, you're a huge Texas A&M fan this week. I mean, Texas A&M and Ole Miss is a huge game. And I think that if Ole Miss loses and Alabama wins, Alabama pretty much wraps up the West. So it'll be interesting to see. But you know what, Justin? I think it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. You know, it'll be that I think is a big one. Josh Lovren says Kalani Sitake to ASU. Stop. Jeremy Bolton, my guy. What's up, dude? Good to see you. He says, beginning of the end for Kalani? Nah, fam. He's turning this around.
Yeah, I don't think his job is in danger at all. I don't believe that. I think that if he was at anywhere else but BYU, I think there would be some conversations.
I don't think his job's in danger.
No.
What I think is this could be the beginning of the end of his tenure at BYU. If you win 6 games this year, and then next year you go into the Big 12, then what? I mean, do you really think this is going to be easy? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I don't think he thought it would be easy. I think he thought that they were prepared. I think he thought that from the staff, like a staff point of view, not necessarily the players, because I don't think you can ever really prepare players to play a higher level of football until they start playing it. But from a coaching perspective, I think I think Kalani Sitake thought that his staff would perform better than they have this year and we're ready to go for the Big 12, and that clearly is not the case right now. And I think that what's really tough is, like, because it's BYU, and again, I'm not joking, I'm being 100% serious, because it's BYU, because you have certain rules to be able to work there, guys are not just falling off of trees to take jobs there, and I think that that's the tough part. So it's like, no, I don't think that this is the beginning of the end of Kalani's tenure. I don't think that there needs to be conversations about Kalani. I think that, this is an important time, and it's hardly a time to change head coaches, and I think that Tom Homo is very aware of that. Like, it's not, you can't, not that firing Kalani is even a conversation, but even if it was, I don't think you can do that right now.
No.
You're heading into a new conference. You got to give that a couple of seasons of breathing room.
And again, I don't think anybody's trying to fire Kalani Sitake. Nobody.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's a conversation. One, the job's almost impossible to fill.
Yeah.
But two, I just think he's writing his legacy right now. This season has been an abject failure to this date.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. There were expectations. This was going to be a 10-win season. You were as talented. You would have massive recruiting.
Jaron was way better.
And you're not winning games. And you lost, Notre Dame, Arkansas, Oregon.
Yeah.
Losing the Liberty game is just the cherry on top of the Suck Fest Sunday. I mean, it is not.
Yeah.
It's not been great. Football at 50 in 4 minutes, thanks to our friends at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Josh Levert says BYU might not be fired, but would he leave to coach elsewhere? He would not. I don't see any way that happens. Hullabilly says, as a Ute fan, I hope Kalani takes this year to realize he has to step it up as a leader. That could be. What is the capacity of BYU's home field, and what is the average crowd? I mean, the capacity is 60-something. I mean, and it's been the crowds have been pretty good this year. I think the fans have supported BYU. I mean, significantly. And if you're just short of 64,000, I think you've been pretty close.
Your average attendance last season was 61,647.
And what it is, it's always the corners that are empty, right? That's when you start seeing fan apathy, and you start seeing fans that don't show up on a cold Friday night.
Yeah.
Like they'd rather be home doing something else. Boyd Lake says, this is the most talented roster BYU has had in a decade. It's embarrassing that this team is playing so poorly. Yeah. Casey Finlinson, good morning, friend. He says, it all starts with recruiting, and BYU is way far behind the 8 ball when it comes to its recruiting staff and resources being used for that specific purpose. But this is what I always tell you about. There is a disconnect between administration and Tom Homo about resources and allocation of resources.
Yes.
And there is a significant group of people that really want to control is such a false thing.
Right.
Control's a lie. There's no such thing as control. And I think there are people in BYU administration who think they control things and who want to control things. And I think the wrong leadership is in place. You've had guys that have been there too long. You've had guys that are very comfortable. And I think when you have guys like Kalani, I don't know that Kalani can be the bull that'll just push people out of the china shop. And I think he needs to be that.
Yeah.
There is no doubt that if you look at basketball, it's not like basketball's carving people up either. And I think you need change in middle management and athletics and administration at BYU.
Yeah.
Or you are not going to move forward. You're not. And the other issue that is painfully obvious is there are differing opinions on how things should be done. And it's old guard versus new guard, and the old guard thinks they have the control.
Such a miserable spot to be, too.
It is. And I'm telling you, in your life, if you remember one thing that Uncle Monty told you, it's that control is not real. Control's not real. There's no such thing.
Yeah.
You have a job to do your job. That's your control. You want to have control, do your job the very best way you know how.
Yeah.
Do your job to the best of your abilities. That's how you control things. And right now at BYU, there is a massive amount of dysfunction. And the only thing that happens at BYU that everybody agrees on is that football at 50 is an amazing segment. That's it.
Let's go.
They all know.
Let's go.
They all know. You know.
That's a professional transition right there.
Football at 50 presented by Papa Murphy's Pizza. 10 to the hour every hour. We bring you the biggest stories in football, and then you turn around and you go order your Papa Murphy's Pizza. You can order it right now in the Papa Murphy's app and give a pickup time. Like, hey, you can order it right now. We'll pick it up at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, get to making that pizza.
Done. No problem, man. And you'll walk in at 4 o'clock. It'll be fresh and ready to go. Your take and bake chocolate chip cookie dough will be in the little container there. Boom, done.
Bada boom, bada bing. You know what I mean?
Life is good unless you're Deshaun Watson. So we had quite the disagreement about Deshaun Watson last hour on the show.
Well, we didn't, but the comments, you know.
Let me ask you, do you guys care about Deshaun Watson at all on any level? Does that story interest you?
And furthermore, do NFL stories like this interest you? Like where you have this star guy or somebody doing something wrong that involves women. Does that interest you?
Look at and we're going to talk about Donda Sports and Yee coming up here in a bit. But if you look at what's going on with Kanye West, look who he's in business with, Antonio Brown. Antonio Brown's his own set of problems. He just lost a $1.2 million lawsuit to a mover that he allegedly assaulted.
Right.
The guy turned around and sued him, and now Antonio Brown owes him $1.2 million. How much money did that guy waste being an idiot?
Yeah, a lot. Hundreds of millions, I would guess. Because when he was a Steeler, when he was prime AB as a Steeler, he was one of my favorite players. And then he just went off the rails.
He had endorsements. He had salary. He had
everything you could want.
And he has just given it away. And, you know, the sad thing is with Antonio Brown and guys like Yee, I'm not calling him Yee. Kanye West and Antonio Brown, I'm not doing it. There is a mental health component there that has to be present.
Yeah.
I mean, it's my opinion, obviously. I mean, with Kanye, you know. With Antonio Brown, he needs help. I mean, it's amazing to me how much money that guy is not going to realize that he has just left on the table because he can't get it together.
Yeah.
It's remarkable to me. The Deshaun Watson story is crazy. Another woman filed a lawsuit against Deshaun Watson. We told you the story last week. A judge said to this woman, listen, if you want this lawsuit to go forward, you're going to have to put your name in the public record.
Yeah.
She did that. Rusty Harden, the attorney for Deshaun Watson, questioned her. In his office, she sat with his paralegal. She told the paralegal that she wants, quote, I want to be in love, and I want to love Deshaun Watson.
Come on.
And I don't want criminal charges put against him because what happened in that room was not criminal. Then why are you suing him for what happened in that room? Anybody? This woman's also texted Deshaun Watson, you know, telling him she wants a relationship and saying they should connect and let's get together. And now and this is, you know who this is? This is Trevor Bauer.
Yeah.
At least he kept the receipts, right? This is crazy that this chick is suing him. What do you do here with Deshaun Watson? Like, he's off scot-free on this pretty much. I mean, he got a huge signing bonus that's going to take care of all of his expenses legally. And now he's got a massive, largest contract ever that's backloaded.
Yeah.
So he's losing a very little bit of money to his suspension. Like, he's essentially not going to be punished for anything that he did in that.
Yeah,
run.
and I think that's how what is it, the Haslams who own the Browns, right? Like that's how it works with them. And I think that, again, this is professional athletes doing what professional athletes do. And it does, these kind of stories do interest me a lot because I think that, guys like Deshaun and, it's like, the Kobe and the Eagle Colorado thing back in the day, or like any example you want to use. These type of issues bring these guys back to earth. And I think that it is the essence of sports talk. I mean, this story just keeps going. And I do think that because this woman is on the record saying she wants to be in love with Deshaun, it's a bad look for the rest of the victims. It is. It forces you. Like, you don't have an option but to question them now.
Hola Billy says, my fantasy team cares. Uncle Monty, it's ye like yay, not ye. It's yay?
It's yay? Okay.
Come on, man. Kanye West. It's dumb. How about that? I know I hate saying that because it's his name. It's yay.
That's dumb.
It's yay. Yay this. Never mind.
Dude.
Is the Kardashian curse real?
Yeah.
Tell me the Kardashian curse is not real.
It feels real.
Whatever. Deshaun Watson's story is linked on ESPN's front page. It's still a big story, mainly because the quarterback salary implications, mental health, NFL player relations, including disciplinary. Yeah. It absolutely is a big story. Get the Deshaun. Good thing Deshaun saved those texts, I guess. Josh Levern says Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson. NY Monty fan says this is a sign of how desperate the Browns are. Yeah. But is it desperate or is it savvy?
Well, I think
Ask
if you're
yourself
in their
that question.
shoes, you're saying it's savvy. I
think it was an incredibly smart deal by them.
Yeah, from a football perspective and like from a business perspective, yes. If your mission is to secure this guy, yes, it's smart. But from a moral standpoint, it's absolutely
horrendous.
despicable. It's absolutely
terrible.
horrible. Yeah.
It's absolutely terrible. I can't imagine that we are in a place where we cannot somehow say, nope, this just isn't good enough.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how. I just don't know how we can't be in a place where we say, well, you know what, Deshaun, until all this is put to bed fully, you can't play in the NFL.
Yeah.
But the Cleveland Browns know that's not going to happen. They needed a quarterback, and they got one of arguably the best quarterbacks in the NFL. It was an incredibly savvy business move.
Yeah.
He needed a place. They needed a QB. They got together.
Well, and they had to move Baker.
Well, I think that's true, too. Mike Maple says, Tom, Kanye, Tiger, divorce always messes up the guy more than the girl. No doubt about that. Jordan Clarkson is business partners with Yee, Yay, and Yeehaw. I don't no bots today, and we have been talking about promiscuous sports. That's very true.
See, you cursed it now, though.
Now there will be bots in the chat. There's no doubt about that. And, my guess, and again, I think this is just my guess. I don't know this to be fact.
Right.
But my guess is that the bots are macking on some Papa Murphy's pizza.
911, what's your emergency?
I smell something delicious and I don't know what it is.
Ma'am, we've traced the smell, and it's coming from inside your oven.
Ah, amazing.
Papa Murphy's.
Last weekend to get your Jacko pizza.
We gonna get one?
We should, yes. By the way, if you don't follow me on Twitter, you should go follow me on Twitter because Tanner Plummer.
Oh God.
Hey guys. Hey guys.
What is Tanner doing on Twitter, dude?
So Travis Bird, who listens to the show, is a bit of a celebrity stalker.
Right.
In that he takes pictures with every famous guy he can find.
Hey guys.
And he was tweeting pictures of Devin Booker, who's the greatest NBA player ever.
No.
I'm sorry, what?
Go ahead.
Anyway, he was tweeting pictures at me of him with Devin Booker, the greatest NBA player ever to ever, like in forever, play the game.
Hey, guys.
Ever.
Hey, guys.
We all know that's a fact. Now it's undisputed.
Let's settle this right now.
Yeah. So then I retweeted the picture of my dude, my soulmate, Devin Booker, with Travis. And Tricky T on my Twitter feed, The Monty Show, Monty, The Monty Show, put up a picture of somebody enjoying the picture of Devin Booker.
Okay.
And Travis.
Okay.
And you should
So you have no frame of reference here, Donnie.
You should probably go follow me on Twitter and enjoy that. I mean,
Donnie, you're out of your element.
You know, I mean,
Donnie, please.
It's Devin Booker. I mean, many forums have been strengthened. It's 8 o'clock on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Make sure that you, friends, get to UtahAdvocates.com. Chat with them for free. If you've been in an accident, if you've been hurt at work, the Advocates absolutely can help you with your workman's comp claim. Car accidents, the thing that we saw yesterday is distracted driving, again, caused another major wreck in Utah. That's not your fault. If somebody's on their phone or trying to eat their food while they're driving and they hit you, that's not your fault. Get to the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com. They never charge you anything out of pocket. No retainers, no consultation fees. You do not pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case at UtahAdvocates.com. Hair slit chance in 30 minutes. I want to get into this Kanye thing a little bit because I think it's so interesting, the reach that Kanye West has had. So Kanye West, as you're aware, has been routinely using anti-Semitic, anti-Jew, anti-human language for months now. And finally, and I don't know why it took so long, he finally went too far. And we talked about it this morning on the show. We've been debating it for several days. We're not going to play the Kanye West audio. It just does not serve a purpose. If you want to hear it and see it, it's out there for your consumption. Just trust me that it is vile. It is terrible. The things that he has said are terrible, to the point where yesterday in Los Angeles, this white supremacist group got up on an overpass over the 405 and had a sign that said Kanye West was right. And there was some, anti-Jewish, really awful messaging on a banner. And they were standing there with the Hitler salute. And this is what Kanye West has done. And so now we find out that, Aaron Donald and Jaylen Brown from the Celtics have left Donda Sports, which is Kanye's agency.
Yeah.
And Jaylen Brown had actually defended Kanye, and yet now has decided to leave. We hear yesterday that Adidas has said they are no longer going to manufacture or make for sale the Yeezy shoe line. Foot Locker has pulled all Yeezy inventory and will no longer sell it, effective immediately. You look at his net worth, he's lost half of his net worth. He's no longer a billionaire. You look at now the people running away from Kanye West. And I guess the question I ask is, what are we supposed to do with this? Because I've heard 1,001 times Tucker Carlson on Fox News calling this cancel culture. And that, other people are saying that Kanye's got First Amendment rights that are being trampled. And to which I say, is that the reality of this conversation? Because my opinion is that Kanye can say whatever he wants. You have a First Amendment right to, if you want to be anti-Semitic, and if you want to say incredibly damaging things to our society, do that. But there are repercussions for the words you speak. And I don't think that this is trampling of his First Amendment rights. I do not think this is cancel culture. I think what Kanye West did is heinous, and the things he said are horrific.
Yeah.
So I don't believe this is cancel culture.
No, I don't think it's cancel culture. And I think, again, this is kind of where we are in society. Hey, I'm going to say something, and I know it's outlandish, and I know it's way out there. And then when it comes back to me and I catch a bunch of flack for it, I'm going to say that it's cancel culture and you're violating my rights. That's what we do in this country now. Instead of saying, yeah, I said this is why I feel this way, and great, we disagree. And that's what I think is is the true issue here. And I think that, Kanye and Antonio Brown and all those people that run in that circle all kind of share the same views and same values, and it's no surprise. That's what we do. We hang out with the people that say the things we like to hear, And so, no, I don't think that Kanye is being canceled. I think when you're anti-Semitic, like, that's not going to be. And furthermore, not only was he anti-Semitic, I mean, he straight up called Adidas out by name and said Adidas won't drop me even if I say anti-Semitic things. So it's like the guy, I just will never understand the motivation for what he's saying and what he's trying to do. Because oftentimes, and you will, I'm sure, experience this if you go and listen to probably 10, 12 minutes of him just talking, you start to understand in long form that he just rambles. It's just rambling. Like, he'll start here and then he'll be 50 miles to the east by the time he's done. That's my problem. There is no initiative. There's no goal. There's no nothing. It literally is just the peanut gallery speaking, and now he's gone one step too far and really hurting himself.
Yeah, and I think the sad thing is this is just another indictment on mental health in this country. Like, I mean, in his fight with mental health, whether it's Kim Kardashian talking about it, his now ex-wife, or he just needs help. He needs somebody to say something.
Yes, he does.
And it just doesn't seem like that's going to happen, And it is really tough to watch this happen. Because I don't hate Kanye West, and I think most people would agree with me that he is wildly talented.
He is.
And he's a guy that has human rights, and it's tough to watch.
Yeah.
It is tough to watch him struggle with this stuff. It is tough to watch him go through this, and it's because we don't have a grasp on mental health in this country. And if you are struggling with that, I'm begging you to get help. And I know that it's not as simple as picking up the phone and calling somebody. I totally understand that. I understand that there is sickness and psychosis that goes into taking your medication.
Yeah.
I understand that. But we have to do something. We can't keep hiding in the back alleys and shadows with mental health in this country because we're watching it. There's nothing wrong with you because you're going through depression. You're not alone. Like, in watching Kanye go through this and watching him spew this absolute hatred and watching the media run to this guy and allowing him, like, Fox News, why are you putting Kanye West on? I just can't understand it. And, I know that there are shows that have pulled Kanye, like LeBron, the Barbershop pulled their episode with Kanye West. That's what should happen.
Yeah.
He should not be given a platform to speak this way. Yet people will give him that platform because they know that people will watch.
Yep.
And I just think it's a huge mistake. And it's why, like, this Tucker Carlson thing, and it's so funny that how are Kanye West and Tucker Carlson in the middle of this whole conversation? And it's because Tucker Carlson gave Kanye a platform and then heavily edited the worst things that he said and heavily edited that interview. It's just brutal, this whole thing. We're watching a guy destroy himself.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly hard to watch. It's really difficult to go through it, man. Like, and I think, how is this going to end? Because I think we all know that it only ends one way.
Right.
It only ends one way. And that is with Kanye West in the ground. And that's just not necessary.
No.
It doesn't have to end that way. And whether it's Antonio Brown, Kanye West, like all of these guys that we've watched spiral through this.
Yeah.
Anthony Bourdain. Like, I mean, Chris Cornell is another guy. All these guys that we have watched go through mental health and dysfunction. I just wish that we would do something about it, man, because it's incredibly painful to watch him go through this. It is.
Yeah, and I think it's a shame because he is really talented, and he's. I mean, I jam on his music. I have no problem saying that, and I think that, and not his newer stuff, but like the stuff he did with Jay-Z, like obviously, Graduation, like that album was crazy. Like God. I think that Kanye is incredibly talented, and that's why I think it's such a shame because. It just seems like these people that get to a certain level then just kind of go off the rails and they just start thinking they can say whatever they want. And like, I don't know, man.
You can't.
Like, yes, you have the freedom to say what you want, but that doesn't mean you should just say whatever the hell you want. Like, you have to be smarter than that.
You can't
and
do
that's
it.
the problem.
Yeah, you can't do it. Let's get some of your thoughts in here. I see all of you commenting on Devin Booker. We'll go back to that in 5 minutes. Adam Butler said Adidas losing Kanye is going to hurt short term, but in the long run, it will be very protected. I would agree with that. It's the only choice they could make.
Yeah.
Holabilly says, I love Ye, but he's out of pocket. Like Felix Friedman said, call out the individuals, not the entire ethnicity. Exactly right.
Exactly.
Ye needs help, not media attention. Yes. Ye is off his meds, going through a divorce, and crumbling as a man and a human in the public eye. It's very sad. I agree with that. It's amazing to me. Boyd Lake says, we live in a culture that rewards people who say shocking things. It really does suck sometimes. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Agreed on the mental health take. Thank you. Ruff's official says, why wasn't Whoopi Goldberg canceled for making guy? Can we just talk about Kanye's not being canceled? It's not cancel culture. M. Morris says, or free himself. It would be nice to see him free himself. I mean, there's no doubt about it. I don't know, man. I don't view this as cancel culture. And Ruff, I know you're highly political. This is not cancel culture. What is Adidas supposed to do? What is Adidas supposed to do?
Like, are they supposed to come out as a company and endorse anti-Semitic comments?
Like Apple Music, what is Apple Music supposed to do with this? Ask yourself that question. Like, I was reading a story about the complexity of Apple Music with guys like Kanye. Is Apple Music supposed to continue to sell his music? Well, his music's not anti-Semitic, but you know that you're paying a guy who has espoused anti-Semitic views.
Yeah.
Do you understand that paradox? I mean, I just don't know what you do with Kanye West. I don't, because you know what will happen. Kanye West, if I had to guess, Kanye West will continue to spiral. Kanye West, who, by the way, is a father of two. I believe he's got 2 kids. And you're watching somebody's dad, somebody's son, even though his mother passed. You're watching a human being deteriorate.
Yeah.
And you know where this is going. He is going to wind up past. He's going to wind up dead. And then what's going to happen to his music? Everybody's going to go and download it. And Apple's going to make a ton of money. So does Apple cancel him for his anti-Semitic views? You probably do. Will they? Probably not. I mean, it is...
It's a brutal place to be.
It is an incestuous, dirty, awful business. And I just don't know how I don't know that there's a right or a wrong answer.
No, I mean, I think for companies like Apple, like when you're a company of that size, I think sometimes you just have to take your beating on these things. Like, I literally think, like, you're like, companies of that size just care about the P&L statement. Like, it's, hey, are you profiting? Are your shareholders happy? Okay, great. We're just going to have to take the punches on this one.
Yeah. I
don't know what else you're supposed to do.
Yeah, Britney Spears is another sad story. Kurt Myers also says Britney Spears destroyed her career for the same issue. Look at what Britney Spears is doing right now. Britney Spears will not keep her clothes on. And I kid you not. Britney Spears will not keep her clothes on to the point where her sons are embarrassed by her social media feed.
Yeah.
And, reports say that they don't want to spend time with her or be around her because now she's out of this, she's out of this conservatorship. So she's back to being very erratic. And it's tough to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. And Morris says maybe he doesn't want the celebrity life anymore. Well, then maybe he should disappear and stop making music.
Yeah, and I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I can totally empathize with that. But again, like, you can't just roll out with anti-Semitic rhetoric. You can't do that. That's not going to be acceptable.
Okay.
Like, I was watching, just doing some homework on this last night. Like, he goes on this podcast, and they're having a conversation, and the host of the podcast, this English guy, was like, hey, you referencing these people in an anti-Semitic way is the same thing as someone with my skin color. He was a white guy is someone with my skin color using the N-word to speak to you. It's the same thing. And Kanye's like, no, it's not. No, it's not. And like goes off in this whole thing. And that's the problem. That's why I agree. When you listen to him speak, when you start to understand that it's just an ongoing ramble, there's no real direction. Like at least with Trump, like I don't agree with anything the guy does, right? I'm not a Trump guy, and that's fine. At least with him, you understand what he's trying to do, even though that's completely jacked what he's trying to do, in my opinion. With Kanye, it's worse, in my opinion, because the dude doesn't even have direction. The dude just woke up on Monday and was like, yeah, time for some anti-Semitic language.
Yeah, it's nutty.
Like,
dude,
it's just out of left field. That's the problem.
And that's why this is not cancel culture. This is not, and Ruff wanting to compare this to every other person in the world. This is a very unique individual situation. This is not anything we've ever heard or seen before.
Because, like, make no mistake about it, Kanye West has impacted a lot of people's lives over the course of his life. Like I'm not even talking about now. Like, just
that he has.
Yeah, the reputation, the reach, what he did for the music industry. He's done a lot in his life, a lot of good things, and that's why it's sad because. Like Stronger was the song of a generation. I feel like, dude, it was like crazy. That's why this is sad.
Justin Salas says, yeah, this is definitely different than someone like Dave Chappelle who people tried to cancel. This is clear anti-Semitism. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hullabilly says Whoopi is nowhere near as influential as Ye. That's why. I think, and the other thing is that he's only doing interviews and going out of his way to get in front of people so that he can be anti-Semitic. Like, it's a platform. If you watch his interviews, and if you listen to him, he will be talking about, hey man, it is beautiful and sunny out here, and then he just goes zooming off into anti-Jewish rhetoric, anti-Semitic rhetoric. Like, wow, I was watching an interview and I was like, wow, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Like, just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
He is intentionally going out of his way to spew hate speech. This is not, again, Whoopi Goldberg's a terrible example, but this is not Dave Chappelle. This is not, transphobic comedy. That's not what this is. It's just, Kanye just had different views than you, so canceled. No, that's not at all what this is. There are societal norms that we all live by. And you can get a little left or a little right of those societal norms, and people will humor the clowns, right? We humor the clowns in this country on a daily basis. But when you do what Kanye has done, there's no humoring that. There's he's not just howling at the wind. He is talking about murdering people.
Yeah.
He is talking, come on. Like, this is a little different than that.
Yeah.
Another thing Boyd Leak says is there's no grace anymore. No one wants to take an L and admit they made a mistake at all, ever. Josh Lovren says Adidas was started by Nazi supporters and now ending their relationship with those that are anti-Semitic. Cool change to see. Well, Adidas has worked very hard to get out of that.
Yeah.
That genre, if you will. And I think there was never going to be. The thing with Adidas and Kanye has been going south for a long time.
Yeah.
This is not new. Hullabilly said, Ye said history doesn't matter, then brought up the history of his people. He makes no sense. I love him, but he's clearly out of whack. That's exactly right. He tried to compare the Holocaust to modern day abortions. That was off. That was crazy.
Yeah.
That was absolutely crazy. Christopher Leal says, I've been done with Kanye a long time ago. Same with Antonio Brown. Truth. Tanner Plummer.
There he is. He's making his first appearance.
Anti-Semitism have no place in our society. I agree.
Hey, guys.
I agree. Josh Lovren says, Whoopi is on that same level as Carrot Top. Totally agree. Tanner says, why am I not surprised that the losers at Fox News welcomed him with open arms? It's bizarre. I don't know why. You can say what you want about Tucker Carlson. He generally is a smart operator.
Yeah.
He's not a dumb guy. This was a very dumb move. And notice he's not said two words about it. They made editing that interview was a huge mistake.
Yeah.
A huge mistake. And there was huge internal strife about it to the point where his producers videotaped it on their phone and released the original stuff. Like, it was a huge problem.
Yeah.
It just is
brutal.
Yeah, it's brutal. Ruff's official. How about members of Congress? I'm not doing members of Guy, get out of here with that. Adidas was started by Nazi supporters. Is that true? Well, it's online. Go and read about it. I went down that rabbit hole the other day. Yeah. K. Nuren says the Jets are going to be in the playoffs if they keep winning. Zach is playing winning football. Actually, he's not. Zachy Poo is not the reason that they're winning.
No.
With all due respect.
With all due respect.
He's not why they're winning. Kanye is bipolar, probably more. We are watching a manic episode.
Yeah, I guess.
Yep, I agree. 8:19 on the Monty Show. The biggest stories in sports every morning, presented by Quick Quack Car Wash. Make sure you check them out. Quick Quack Car Wash is absolutely the official car wash of the Monty Show. Mainly because it's easy and it's quick to get to Quick Quack. They're all over the place. I am super stoked that they remodeled the one in the district, so it's super close to my crib. So I go to that one all the time. But I would encourage you to use Quick Quack. It's fast, it's easy, it's efficient, and they do a great job on the car, which is the bottom line. Because my guy Klaus, my Audi, I drive an SQ5 and I love it. And I love keeping it clean, and they do a great job. And by the way, they have good vacuums too.
Yeah.
So I always appreciate that. Let's get back to this Devin Booker thing, because I really want to have this out. Harris LeChance in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Devin Booker's the best basketball player in the world. I think we all know that. All right, let's be serious.
Right.
Where does Dev rank on the shooting guards in this league? Because I would call him a true 2.
Yeah.
I think he's absolutely a true 2. So where would you put him? I mean, I think he's a step ahead of Don, even though if Don keeps playing the way he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
But Don is clearly a 2, not a 1. I think I would take Book over Jason Tatum. I would take Book over Jaylen Brown. I would take Book over Donovan. I think that's really close now, the way Donovan's played this year.
Mm-hmm.
But there are not many 2s that I would take. I mean, Paul George or Devin Booker. But Paul's more of a 3-4, right? Okay, Kawhi Leonard. I'm taking Kawhi Leonard over Devin Booker.
Yeah, I mean, I think the comparison to Paul George is really, really interesting because Paul George is, I think Book is 6'6", and Paul George is like 6'8"-ish. So George is like a little bit taller, but Paul, to me, is like not as edgy of a guy, whereas Book is definitely kind of cold-blooded with how he kind of goes about it. So, like, to me, mentality-wise, I really like what Book brings mentally. But you look at some of these names, like, just Googling best shooting guards in the league, like, I would take him over CJ McCollum, obviously. Like, I would take him over, like Klay Thompson, is someone who always comes up.
I'm taking him over Klay.
Yeah, I think you have to because of where they're at in their careers. Now, Klay's had a better career, obviously, but again, we're talking about who's the better player right now. So I would take Book. I think the one you really have to talk about is James Harden, because James Harden is a 2. James Harden is a hell of a basketball player. Book's a hell of a basketball player, and neither of them have won anything.
Jaylen Brown or Devin Booker?
You gotta go Book. Yeah, you gotta go Book. Yeah.
Devin Booker or Zach LaVine? And let's call Zach LaVine 100% healthy.
Yeah, you gotta go Book. Yeah, Book's a more polished player.
I think in order, number 1 in the NBA shooting guards.
I'd probably have to go Paul George number 1.
Oh,
I think I would take him. Yeah.
Are you being serious?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Forget Jake. Devin Booker, number 1. Donovan Mitchell, number 2. Paul George, number 3. And then I think the water gets murky. I don't even have James Harden in my Bradley Beal or James Harden. Oh
man.
What about DeJounte Murray?
No, DeJounte's not in this conversation.
He's got to be top 10.
Yeah, on the outskirts of the top 10.
What do you put James as a 1 or a 2?
A 2 for sure. Yeah, he's a 2 in my opinion. James Harden. Yeah, he's a 2. I think that here's my problem. The problem is that none of these guys have won anything yet. And I really feel like to be the best at anything in the league, you have to have at least, gone deep down the rabbit hole. So, like, for Booker, he's been in the NBA Finals, right? So, to me, it's like, all right, he's gotten farther than James Harden. He's gotten farther than Bradley Beal. He's gotten farther than Don. He's gotten just as far as Jason Tatum. So, like, to me, the conversation is only between Book and Jason Tatum. And I think you have to go with Book because I think, you know what I mean? I
think, man, I totally disagree with you. That's weird. We usually are not totally in disagreement on things. I think that the bigger question is like 3, 4, 5. Because I think it's Book, number 1. I think Don is number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. And I more look at Jason Tatum as a 3, not a 2.
Right.
But, okay. I'm taking Jaylen Brown number 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm taking... Like, Zach LaVine's a tough one because he drives me crazy.
He's always hurt.
He is always hurt, and your best ability is your availability.
I would take Anthony Edwards over Zach LaVine.
Oh, see, you say stuff that you just can't defend.
Okay.
Anthony Edwards over Zach LaVine. You got damn. I will send your ass to rehab if you keep making stupid statements like that.
Okay.
You honestly.
Yes, dude. He's way healthier. He's got just as much
He's
explosion.
not polished. He's not the shooter Zach is. He's not the finisher Zach is.
Okay.
I mean, he's not. He's not. I would put him probably top 7, but I'm taking Bradley Beal over Ant. You're taking Anthony Edwards over Bradley Beal.
No, probably not. No.
Come on now. Come on now.
You're just so incredulous about it. Like, Anthony Edwards is a great player, dude.
He is. But I get passionate about conversations like this. I think it's Book 1.
Book needs to win. Like, let's just have it out. He needs to perform.
He needs to be the reason they win.
Like, he needs to perform in the postseason.
I don't disagree with that.
Like, that's the only reason this conversation is difficult, because the guy goes silent.
I think you got to rate. I think it's Jaylen Brown's 3rd in my mind.
Yeah.
I think it's close. And it depends on how you look at Paul George. And
the fact is you can't count on Zach LaVine. That's the problem. It was DeMar and everybody else for half a year last year. So that's why I say I don't even think Zach should be in this conversation because you can't count on the guy.
Well, and it's a knee injury, so it's never going away.
Like,
I mean, it's always
if you
want
to put DeMar in Zach's place, I can get down with that. I can 100% get down with that. DeMar's probably a 3, not a 2, but I can go with you on that for sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Like, to me though, like some other names that are on some of these lists that I look at, guys who are coming that are not here yet. Like, I think 2 years from now, you got names like Jordan Poole, you've got Tyrese Maxey, you've got like, I don't know, who's another guy we got here? Like Gary Trent Jr. I don't think is ever a top 10. Jalen Green I think is definitely going to be top 10.
He's coming.
Like,
Jalen's
he's definitely coming.
But I also think you look at some of the guys. Like, what's Jordan Poole's ceiling? What is Desmond Bane's ceiling? Is Desmond Bane a 2?
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
you'd probably put him in a 2.
Jordan Poole's ceiling is extremely high. Jordan Poole has the ability to be, I don't think he's ever going to be the shooter over his career that like Steph and Clay are, but I think that he will be prolific at scoring for most of his career. He has great handle.
Okay.
He already can shoot it like with the best in the league, but again, I think there's a difference there. Like, yeah, he can shoot really well, but does he shoot to the level that Clay does? Like over 5 years? I don't know about that. That remains to be seen. But
Anthony Simons?
Yeah, Anthony Simons I think is
he could easily be top 10.
Yeah, he could definitely be top 10. I think DeJounte Murray, I need to see what the guy brings. I want to see how that plays out with him.
I don't believe in him.
Well, but he's been in San Antonio. He's been in San Antonio. Now he's on a playoff team. Let's see what you can do. Like, show me what you can do.
And don't get me wrong on Anthony Edwards. I like Ant a lot. I think he's a hell of a player. He's just not that. He's not that guy yet. This is a huge year for Minnesota because
you think?
But he's one of those guys, and he's been really good this year. I mean, watching a lot of their games, he's been really good. I think the problem for them is going to be how much does the Cat Gobert thing drag them down? Because I think it's really awkward right now. Those two guys can't have big games together. It's really weird watching them play. Let's get some of your thoughts in here. Let's see. Josh Levering. Book is the best player in the world that won't allow doubles in the summer pickups. Why would you bring that up? Why, man? Why would you bring that up?
Well,
you know, Ruff's official is going on about how we're avoiding What are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? Let's see. Teddy Wayman says, nah, I think Don and Tatum are both better than... Teddy Wayman also says Paul George is a small forward.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
You're probably right about that.
Yeah.
Josh says Booker 1, George 2, Levine, Don, and Jalen.
Yeah, not a bad take.
Okay. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Tom Basilio says Clay's a 3, George is a 3-2. I don't think Klay Thompson's a 3. I think he is much more of a 2. And I look at that lineup, and I think they don't have numbers on their positions. I mean,
no, they just move.
Yeah, but I do think it's hard to classify that. Yeah. You know, like it you know.
Depends on the system.
Yeah. Holabilly. Whoa. Holabilly says PG seems too nice of a person. I'll take Book, who won't back down and believes in himself. Well, that Devin Booker is a hard
he's got
ass.
that edge, yeah.
Yeah. Tanner Plummer says Colin Sexton's the best shooting guard. If you don't see that, you're blind.
Hey guys.
Love
hey
you.
guys.
Love you.
Hey guys.
Josh Levering says Dame is waving at Jake in PG-13. But is Dame even in that conversation?
Yeah, I would put Dame at the 1.
Yeah, Dame's a point guard.
Yeah, I think Dame's a point guard. Dame's in the Steph conversation.
Holabilly says today Beal over Harden. Yes. What is James? I think James Harden's a point guard.
Yeah, I think he's a point guard. I think it depends on the possession. That's the problem with the league. You don't have traditional point guards anymore. So it's like, you know, there are so many shooting guards now, you know, like I think that the combo wing who's a 2-3, you know, and if you're tall enough, you can play some 4, like, you know, that's the guy that's making the most money in the league now.
Tom Basilius says Dame and Steph are 2s. Nah. Dame is a point guard.
Yeah.
Dame is a point guard.
Steph's a point guard too.
Yep. No doubt about it. Teddy says 1 Spida, 2 Booker, 3 Brown. I think Jaylen Brown's coming. He's another guy that's got to win too, though.
Yeah,
like him and Tatum.
They've been to the finals a bunch now and haven't gotten it done.
Yeah. Teddy Wayman says Harden's a 1. I agree with that. Justin Salas says Paul George is too injured to be number 1. I agree with Monty. 1, Booker 1, Don 2, and then 3 is up for grabs in my opinion. Okay. I can get down with that. I think it's a very interesting. It's a very interesting conversation. You know, that's what I think. Kay Nuren says it comes down to winning. Jordan and Kobe were winners. I don't disagree with that.
Well, and I think that's the X factor, and I think that's what made the whole trash-talking thing last night between Book and Clay so awesome. You know, like, and also it really should be said, like, Book did a damn good job getting in Clay's head, too. I mean, you have to give him credit. Like, I think that when you can get a guy ejected like that, like, that's awesome stuff. And I think that Book is... You have to remember Book, I think, what is Book, 25 maybe?
Yeah.
Let's see, Devin Booker's age.
I think he's 25.
Let's see. Yeah, he's 25. So, like, he's just now entering his prime. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that Book has done a lot of getting deep in the postseason early in his career. So, to me, the upside for Book is tremendously high. Now, obviously, you got to get off the schneid and get that first one knocked down like this year or next year.
Yeah,
like I think you really got to get that ball rolling for yourself. So that way, when you get to 31, 32, 33, you already have 3 or 4 championships and you can kind of chase the top end. But I think that Devin Booker, you know, I love his edge. I love the way he plays the game. I love watching him play basketball. I do. And frankly, I think that one of the big differences between him and like a Kevin Durant is his teams, Book's teams, have largely stayed out of the drama. Like it felt like DeAndre Ayton created that drama on his own with Monty Williams. It didn't feel like that was like a team culture issue.
I thought the locker room handled that perfectly.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot be this Jay Crowder thing now, though.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, the Suns looked really good last night as we talk NBA hoop on the Monty Show, presented as always by Tri-Day Trading, tridaytrading.com/Monty. And we are waiting for Harris LaChance, by the way, who I think is lifting right now. So we are waiting for Harris. But I think when you look at that game last night, that was a statement game.
Yeah.
And I think Devin Booker after the game was was pretty nails. Devin Booker said, you know what? Hey, that's great, but you can't keep pointing to your ring if you're the Golden State Warriors. And this is what I hate about certain championship teams. And it's why I've always idolized Phil Jackson's teams. You never saw those guys pointing to rings. They had their ring ceremonies, and they put that away.
Yeah.
They put that away. Like Jordan, Kobe, Shaq, the big guys on that team always drove the message, hey, man, that's over now. Last year was last year. This is this year.
Yeah.
You have to do that, because if you're not going to compartmentalize your championships, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
It is that simple. You have to compartmentalize your championships.
Yeah.
And guys like Klay Thompson, a week into the season, still pointing at his 4th ring, that's a mistake, dude.
Keep it real.
That's a mistake, because guess what does that ring mean right now today? It doesn't mean a damn thing, because the Clippers are better than you, in my opinion. You look at I was stoked to see Devin Booker have that kind of night to get back to shooting threes. That's huge for them.
Yes.
Huge for them. The Western Conference is so interesting to start. Like the Lakers being 0-3, and if you're just tuning in, we were talking about it this morning that the Lakers are in real flux, and the Lakers, I think, have to make a significant move. I've been told by sources around the NBA yesterday that they are exploring 2 options, either buying Russ out or trading him to Indiana.
Yeah.
And I think they are open for business on Anthony Davis if they get the right deal. I know they had conversations over the summer about Anthony Davis, and those did not materialize. But I would not be surprised to see the Lakers make a huge move at 0-3. And this is that thing that we always talk about with the Jazz, right?
Yeah.
Like at 0-3, it's a catastrophe in LA.
Yeah.
It's just unacceptable, right? So now what you're trying to figure out is, well, hey, we're the Jazz. We're 3-1. When everybody's over the moon about it. Expectations are so critically important that you get those right. I think the West is going to be bananas, dude. When Jamal Murray gets back to playing 100%, because I think they're doing really smart load management with Jamal Murray with that knee.
Yeah, I think Jamal Murray's load management is good. I think Kawhi is. I love that he's willing to come off the bench and kind of just play his game and do that. I think eventually he'll get back to starting, but I've enjoyed Kawhi off the bench so far.
No to Westbrook. James Jensen gives us a $20 tip and says no to Westbrook. As a Jazz fan, would you want the Jazz to buy him out? My feeling is you probably don't want the Jazz to buy him out.
Yeah, I just don't see the advantages of it. Like, you already have all these picks. Like, you're basically saying we're going to pay $50 million for 2 picks. That's essentially what you're saying.
That is what you're saying.
Like, that to me is not a good deal.
I would not do it. I just wouldn't. The Jazz, I was told yesterday, are not engaged in conversations with the Lakers. I think there's going to be a long period of time where the Lakers and Jazz don't do a deal. And maybe I'm totally wrong about that.
Right.
But just reading the tea leaves of things I've heard, there is some disappointment because the Lakers blame the Jazz for that trade not happening.
Uh-huh.
And I've talked to a lot of different people about this. The Lakers felt like they had that Bojan Bogdanovic, Malik Beasley, Mike Conley, like they felt they had a deal done. And the Jazz are saying that, hey, they wouldn't give up 2 first-round picks. The Lakers say that's not the case. The Lakers feel like Danny Ainge traded Bojan Bogdanovic to Detroit to spite them.
Uh-huh.
And I tell you, I'm not surprised to hear that. I'm not surprised to hear that. Josh Levern says there's 0 chance Book gets multiple chips in Phoenix. See, I actually disagree with that. Now that Robert Sarver's selling the team, I think it's going to be heavily dependent on who buys that team. And I've heard rumblings that LeBron wants to get the ownership group on that, wants to be in the ownership group on that team, but he's not willing to retire to do it. I think that you're going to see there's going to be a group of owners on that team, and I think they're going to win championships. I have almost no doubt about that because I think that's a fantastic basketball market. Phoenix, it's a terrible baseball market. I think it's a terrible NFL market.
Yeah.
I think it's a fabulous basketball market. Having been there, having worked there, I'm telling you, it's a great basketball market. But it'll be interesting to see how all that turns out. I think if they get a good ownership group in there, I think there's a real good chance that they absolutely win multiple championships with Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Because he's a guy that I think is going to end his career with the Lakers. But I think he wants to win championships in Phoenix. I do. I think he's committed to that. Hullabilly says, Clay knows he isn't the same player. He just wants to remain relevant. Oh, I think that could absolutely be the case.
Yeah, that could be.
Tanner says, after last Saturday, I wouldn't blame Harris if he didn't come on the show today. Well, usually that's not that guy.
Hey, guys.
Usually that's not that guy. We'll see what happens. Fat Jesus says, the only statement game for the Suns that will matter is not choking in the playoffs. Facts.
Yeah, seriously.
Facts. Dan R. says, answer to the title, absolutely not. I'm telling you, Jazz fans would not accept Russell Westbrook in any way, shape, or form. In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and I don't know, man. It's just, if they were to do that, that'd be just such a knee-jerk reaction type trade.
It would.
Like, where it's like, hey, man, like, you just jumped the gun and, like, did something here, and you paid $50 for 2 picks. And it's like, man, I just can't see him doing that. And I'm not saying Ryan Smith certainly is struggling for money or anything, but you never want to just pour money down the drain on bad deals. You know, that's just not what you want to be doing. And I feel like they've done a pretty decent job so far.
Yeah, you know, I think one of the interesting things to me is that they have to. You got to do something. The Lakers have to do something. I think, and everybody says the Lakers are irrelevant. They're never irrelevant.
No.
I think it's fascinating to see what happens with them. I think it's fascinating.
I think they've never been in this position before where you have talent and it's just not performing.
Yeah.
It's just not doing what it should be doing.
How do you fix it?
You move on. You grow a set and you move on.
I think you have to trade Anthony Davis. And I think I was told yesterday the Knicks were still interested in Anthony Davis. I think you have to trade Anthony Davis.
Yeah, but I don't think you can trade Anthony and not move Russell. I think you
No.
both.
I think that's done. I mean, Russell Westbrook opted into a player option. He's done after this year no matter what. I think you'd like to trade him early.
Yeah.
I think if you're the Lakers and you're LeBron's not going anywhere. He is committed to LA. I don't see any way that he leaves there. I think you have to move Anthony Davis and get another superstar.
Yeah.
Because he's just been a failure there. And I know they won a championship and he played well in that run. The bubble was a different thing. I'm telling you right now, Anthony Davis is not that dude.
Yeah.
He is.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
And I think you have to blow that thing up and change it. I also think that there's too many chefs in the stew. Like,
after
I think
the street closed Davis.
Jeannie Buss, the owner of the Lakers, has too many people in her ear. And since her father passed, I think it's been very difficult for her to rein that club in.
Yeah.
But LeBron wants to play with his kids. I don't think there's any doubt about that. And I think you're probably going to see that's going to happen.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? They all talked about rings all the time. Kobe and Shaq talked about how they wanted more rings just to have more than each other. No. When the season started, like the year after they won a championship, sure, that's their motivation. But they're not pointing to their fingers and pointing up to the banner, and that's what Klay Thompson was doing last night. And that's a mistake. You can't live on your past glory. It just it
doesn't work.
It is the quickest route to failure in the NBA. It's absolutely true that Kobe wanted more rings than Shaq, but he never talked about that or pointed to his fingers. I mean, I think we're saying the same thing but different. Brett Burnett says nobody cares about the Lakers after they tried to fleece Trader Ainge. I think people care about the Lakers.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I could be wrong about that. And, I mean, you guys are the best judge of that. Brett Burnett says, how about the Jazz trade with the Lakers for AD? The problem is, though, do you want Anthony Davis on your team? I don't. I mean,
he's just so injury prone, man. Like,
and
what
he
are you
doesn't
supposed to
shoot
do with
threes
it?
that well.
Yeah, like, what are you supposed to do with that?
He doesn't want to bang. He wants to shoot. He's soft. And that's not going to win you championships, in my opinion, man. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
That's not. I just don't see that as an option. You know, I mean, he is supposedly in the best shape of his life, and I just don't think it matters. You know, like it just doesn't matter. Tanner says the Lakers aren't irrelevant. They're just a clown show like BYU football right now. Ooh.
Whatever.
Tanner, Brent Burnett says, I like clowns. Okay. Hullabilly says, trade LeBron to Cleveland for Allen and Garland.
Hey, guys.
I don't know. Does that make LA better?
I guess.
I mean, does that make Cleveland?
That's what I mean. Like, there's not a ton of options.
I'm telling you, the Lakers thought they. I mean, listen, if that team has Bojan Bogdanovic and Mike Conley, they're a championship contender.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just no doubt about that. The problem is now you don't, and you're not. And I think they felt like they had a deal done.
Yeah.
And it never materialized. And I don't, what do you believe about that? Because me personally, I believe that Danny Ainge I think Ryan Smith doesn't want to work with the Jazz at all. Ryan Smith, the owner of the Utah Jazz, doesn't want to trade with the Lakers.
Yeah.
I think they did the Pat Bev deal, and
that was that.
That was that.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely could be. I think that it's dumb business practice to spite your rivals. I think that you not doing the deal hurts them and hurts you. It's not like it just benefits you. So I don't know. I think that Ryan Smith and Danny Ainge, and obviously more so Danny than Ryan, have a plan about what they want to do. I just still will not get over the fact that you gave away Bogdanovich for essentially nothing.
Yeah, surprising. Hey, make sure you see our friends at Barbecue Pit Stop. I cannot wait to fire up the smoker. We'll be in Boise this weekend, so that generally means Thursday night instead of Friday night is pizza night in our house. So we will fire up the smoke. You gonna be?
No, man. Bruh. I'm feeling it, bro.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Jake's been sick. How are you feeling?
I'm okay. On the tired train right now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I went to bed, honest to God. What time did you leave my house last night?
Like 6:45.
I never woke back up. I was sleeping on the couch when Jake left. I woke up for maybe half an hour, went upstairs, went to bed, went right back to sleep. Got up at 3:55 today.
Yeah.
Like, I slept all night long. We texted a little bit about topics and some stuff, and dude, I was texting you when we were texting last night. I was laying in bed. I did one of those things where I went to bed early and my wife stayed awake. I went to bed and like covered myself in the blankets. We have one of those super huge blankets on our bed. I covered myself. I was in the cocoon of awesomeness texting with you. You know, that feeling like
I had this. So I took NyQuil obviously last night, and it was this strange sensation, and I felt like it was because of the NyQuil, where I felt like I was kind of being pulled into sleep. It was kind of weird, like just I don't even know how to describe it, but I was like laying there. We were talking about topics, and I remember thinking to myself, dude, you better put your phone on the charger because you are falling fast right now. Like you are going to sleep very quickly right now.
That's awesome.
But
do you ever not trust your alarm?
Oh yeah, all the time. Yeah. I always double check it. I always double check that the door's locked. I always double check
I instilled that in you though, the door lock thing. I'm sorry.
Like and I mean I won't lie. Like it's a grind being having this little thing that I have. And getting up at 4 every day now, like it's not easy. And yesterday we worked basically all day. Like it's not easy.
Yeah, we left the house at 4 yesterday and got home at 4 yesterday.
Yeah, dude. So
and it's been, it's been the grind. Anyway, the point is, make sure you get to Barbecue Pit Stop, bbqpitstop.com. And again, people asking me about the asado seasoning. This is the asado seasoning right here. Flavor Knuckles asado seasoning.
Do it.
I'm telling you, you have got to get to bbqpitstop.com. Get the asado seasoning. You see that in the bottom where it says, hi there, have a question? You can actually get online at Barbecue Pit Stop, and you can talk with them, and you can say, hey, how long do I have to let my brisket rest? Or, hey, do you have asado seasoning in stock? Or, hey, what's the best smoker for this or that? Because whether you get a Traeger, which I would always tell you Traeger's the best in the business. I love Traeger. Yoder's great. Big Green Egg. The Traeger's where it's at for me. I'm an Ironwood 885 guy. But I'm telling you, you can talk to them about anything you need. They have butcher shops in their stores now. If you're in Logan, get up to Logan. The St. George store is amazing. Logan, Lehigh, Layton, St. George, and our good friends in Murray, right there across from the mall. I mean, they're all just good dudes to do business with. They support our show on a regular basis. Just love the guys at Barbecue Pit Stop, and this is the best time of year. Drop the wings, drop the pizza, drop the brisket, the steaks, the chops, the brats on the smoker. It'll change your life. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
So there you go. A couple more comments on the Utah Jazz. Kay Nurin says, I still wear my BYU hat and shirt to work. BYU forever. Of course you should. Of course you should. NY Monty fan says, I don't think there's a lot of suitors if LeBron became available. Too old, not enough in the tank, and he's a bit. Are you kidding? Have you watched?
No, he's still got some.
He is playing incredible. And I wonder why this is the perception of LeBron. He's playing some of his best basketball. I mean, he is running the floor. There was a pic on Twitter the other night of his chin at the rim. Like, he is still jumping out of the gym. And I don't know how he's doing it. I don't know what he has for breakfast. I don't have any idea.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a soy latte, grande, mocha, cappuccino thing. I have no idea. But I'm telling you right now, and LeBron's turned himself into a much better shooter.
Yeah.
Into a much, much better shooter. No, I don't want Anthony Davis, probably one of the most overrated players of our generation. Truth. Brent Burnett says, should have kept Pat Bev. He's not that guy, though.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverley is at the end of his career. He's probably got this in another season, maybe. He's a guy that finishes your championship team.
Yeah.
And he has exceptionally high value across the league, or he did when he was with the Jazz. B-Mar says, hell to the no on Westbrook.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Jazz fans are united on that. Let's see. Tanner says, oh, crap, Jake, is it the Cocoa? Nah, I don't think that's
so.
what that is.
No.
There was a bug going around, and Jake got it. I haven't gotten it, and I am quadruple vaccinated, so.
Yeah, I don't think it is. I think that, so for the series that we shoot for the Grizzlies, I'm in the locker room all the time. So I think I just picked it up, and and admittedly, I am way better today. The cough yesterday was brutal. Today, it's largely not around. So it's getting better. It's a workload. That's just
it's a grind.
It is what we do.
San Diego State Aztec says, Jake, it's called the Sandman.
I don't know what that's a reference to.
You falling asleep.
Okay.
You're not falling asleep. You're just tired. I will say there are days. For us, the odd thing is you look at your watch and it's like, okay, it's 9:30, show's over, post-production, this, that. Then you look at your watch again and it's 3 o'clock. And you're like, where did the day go?
Yeah.
And the odd thing is, it's got us in this groove where we eat once a day.
Yeah.
And I'm actually not really ever hungry. I'm using this water canteen again, and it's absolutely money. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
It is fantastic. And because we're in the arena now, I'm walking a ton more than I've ever walked in the past.
Yeah.
So it makes a big deal. Dan R. says Jazz should trade Jordan Clarkson, Rudy Gay for a salary match and a first if they can get it. Getting RKD of JC's turnovers, getting rid of
JC's.
Yeah, Jordan Clarkson's, but RKD. I think that's getting rid of Jordan Clarkson's turnovers, and 32% three-point shot will open up minutes for Colin and Fontecchio. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I like Jordan Clarkson a lot, but I think he's under probably utilized on this team. I think he could be an excellent sixth man on a championship team.
Yeah.
Hibbs says, gun to your head, what are the top reasons Ainge moved Spida? Again, we've talked about this a lot as well. And I mean, my opinion on this has evolved. I don't think Donovan Mitchell ever asked for a trade. And the interesting conversation here is that everybody from Rudy's people to the guys I talked to at the Jazz to Don's people straight up told me Donovan is aware that they are trading Rudy Gobert.
Yeah.
Everybody said that. Yet Don is going around telling people he had no idea they were trading Rudy Gobert, that he wanted to run it back. That run it back line, I think, is a shot at the Jazz because I think he was told we're not running this back.
Yeah.
So I think he's running that out there. My opinion is that Donovan collapsed under pressure. And I think Donovan Mitchell stopped communicating. And I think he put the Jazz in a situation where he never asked for a trade. He just made it clear he wanted to be traded.
Right.
And I think that he didn't want to be the number one guy in a smaller market like Utah. And I think he was going to be that guy who felt the weight of the pressure to win a championship. Hey, they traded Rudy. They built around Donovan. Hey, Donovan, you got to perform. And I think there's some of that in that. I think the other part of it is when you're not a team player with management, and I think there was some falling out between Danny Ainge and Donovan Mitchell. There's just no doubt about that. Nobody is talking about the specifics of that, and not Danny and not Donovan, but it's clear that they were on the same page, and then the Rudy trade happened and something in Donovan changed. That's why it took so long to trade Donovan. I think if they'd have made that DeAndre Ayton trade on July 1st when they were close to it, Donovan Mitchell is still a Utah Jazz man.
Yeah.
And this team is arguably the best team in the West. Because Bojan Bogdanovic would still be here. Like, you'd still largely have this core intact. But I think something changed with Donovan. And I think Donovan had some kind of emotional feelings. And I think there was a break with the team. And he left them very little choice but to trade him.
Yeah.
That's, if you're putting a gun to my head, that's what I'm going with. I think that's what it is. Because the issue becomes with your take, Hib. He's a 6'1" guy with poor defense. Well, the problem is he doesn't have poor defense anymore. Anybody notice he's playing really good defense? Anybody notice he's passing at a very high level? I mean, it's incredible, the evolution of Donovan Mitchell's game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's frustrating for Jazz fans that he's doing that, you know?
Yep. NY Monty fan says, I truly hate that I can't trust my alarm. I set like 5 every morning to make sure I'm up and rolling. I have an alarm that I set every day at 5 a.m. Set that alarm, or for 4 a.m. I set it at 4 a.m. every day, and it goes off at 4 a.m. Maybe once a week I sleep till 4 a.m. Most days I wake up at either 3:55 or 3:56. And I have instituted a new rule in my life that I have 5 seconds to get out of bed. When I wake up and I recognize, hey, it's 3:55, 3:56, or the alarm goes off at 4, get out of bed right now. Because there are days where I will sit there and I will just read my email, or I'll flip through Twitter and it's like, oh, it's 4:15. Jake's going to be here at 4:30. Got to go. And then you're like in this fire, and I can't stand that.
Yeah, I hate that feeling.
So I give myself, I use the 5-second rule. And it's like, hey, 5 seconds, got to get up.
Yeah.
And I can't remember her last name. The motivational speaker, Mel something. I can't remember her name. But she is the one who put that into my consciousness, that you have to do it. Mel Robbins.
Yeah.
Mel Robbins. You have to do it. The 5-second rule absolutely has changed my life.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you're sitting there and you're like, I got to take a leak, give yourself 5 seconds and then go do it. Hey, I got to get out of the shower. Like I did that this morning.
Yeah.
I was in the shower basking in the glory of like 200-degree heat water. It was amazing. And I was like, dude, because like you don't wear your watch. You don't know what time it is.
But
how long have I been in here?
But
you know. That feeling in your head, you're Tom Brady and the defensive end is coming, right?
You always know, like when you're daydreaming in the shower, like you get lost in your thoughts and you're like, whoa, how long was that? How long did I just do that for?
And so this morning I was like, dude, you got to rinse the shampoo out of your hair. You got to wash them all. And so I did that, and I was like, all right, count to 5. And I just put my face in the water, and it was 4:17.
Yeah, and the torture with this thing that I have, this bug that I have or whatever, is like I'm someone who when I do get a bug, the shivers get me. So like getting out of the shower this week has been an ass kicking. And, you get out of the shower and you're cold and you're like, it changes your routine. Because usually I'm the guy that stands in the bathroom, does the hair, brushes the teeth, puts the contacts in, and then I'll get dressed. I don't do it in the other order. So, like, I had to do it backwards these first couple of days, which sucks.
Yeah. Tanner says, still no Harris LaChance. Wow, you are really observant. We don't call guys out, man. He will, they will, It is what it is. Let's see. Washington State complimented Kincaid and Rising a lot in their press conference, called Rising the best competitor in the conference and Kincaid an NFL player, as they should. As they should. Kay Nurin says Don is going to be a superstar in Cleveland. He did want to play here. Didn't want to play here anymore. I'm telling you, he's going to average 30 points a game. All right, let's get some non-sports stories of the day in here on the Monty Show, presented by the Advocates. UtahAdvocates.com. We tell you every single day on this show, they are the best injury attorneys in the business. There's no doubt about that. Without them, this show's not possible. Make sure you get to the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com.
I wanted to be in radio since I was tiny. It's constantly on the go and remembering what buttons to push, but I love it. It's so much fun. I'm Katie. I'm a radio producer and a dinosaur fanatic. I was injured in 2 very similar car accidents, hit from behind. Obviously wasn't my fault. I was sitting there stopped. When I called up the advocates, they're like, oh, you definitely have a case. I'm grateful to have attorneys on my side when I need them. You never know what can happen on the road, and it's nice to know that you have someplace to go that can help.
They are the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. By the way, I'm texting with Harris right now. We're trying to figure out a time. He said, so sorry, dude. Lifting went long. We've been grinding. I think that's I don't think he's trying to dodge it.
No. I don't think he's dodging it at all. I think that they're playing on a Friday instead of a Saturday, and they're a day ahead.
Yeah. So Ruff's official just won't stop. He's like, Tanner, remember when they wouldn't read? And I think when he says they, I think that's us. Remember when they wouldn't read in Garci's comments, like Washington taking away signs from fans? No, we just don't. We don't keep feeding the monkey, dude. So when you say stupid things and you say hateful things, we're not going to read them.
Are we clear on that?
That's why we don't read most of your comments, because you like to get into politics and everything's about QAnon, and we don't play that game on this show. You don't have to like the comment. You don't have to agree with us. But if you're going to get into hate speech and say mean things as you have, we're not going to read it. It's that simple. Holabilly says Harris not showing up, just like the Cougar defense. Wow, my guy. All right, let's talk about 2 non-sports stories today before we get out of here. What do you guys make of this whole thing? And I call it a whole thing. What do you make of this whole thing with Elon buying Twitter? Because there was a story that came out yesterday that since the announcement that Elon is buying Twitter, over 500 executive-level employees have left Twitter.
Yeah.
This was research done by LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is saying that 500 management executive-level positions have changed at Twitter. So people in their LinkedIn bios have said, I left Twitter and I started at this company. They were not laid off. They simply changed jobs. And there is a belief that Elon going to Twitter is going to exacerbate that situation.
Yeah.
Is Elon Musk trying to destroy Twitter?
I don't know that he's trying to destroy it, but I don't think he's trustworthy. I think people don't trust his vision. I think they don't trust like what he wants to do with the company. I mean, I think that he is regarded as a loose cannon right now. I think that he's, I think that question of is he destroying Twitter is pervasive throughout the Twitter community. Like, he's not doing a good job defining what his purpose in buying Twitter is. What is the reason Elon Musk bought Twitter? How is that so up in the air?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, okay, you bought Twitter. What are you going to do next? I don't know. I'm going to go and find more stability somewhere else. That's what this job market is about. And when you're an executive level employee, and your job is high impact and what you do really affects the company, you're going to want to go somewhere where your money is secure, where you're going to get paid, but it's not just that you're getting paid, that you're getting paid by a company that you are sure is going to be around in 5 years. Because that's what I think people are scared of with Elon buying Twitter, is that, whether we want to say he destroyed it or something happens that eradicates Twitter or whatever, that's what I think people are scared of. They don't trust Elon. They don't trust what it's going to be.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to see exactly where this all goes with Twitter, because I think most of us dislike Twitter. It is a necessary evil. I don't tweet nearly as much as I used to. It just, it's just not something that is enjoyable. The cesspool that is Twitter is just not fun anymore. And so I use Instagram far more than I use Twitter, but I think Twitter's a very necessary evil. Now, I also think there needs to be change at Twitter. There needs to be a new voice, and I think Elon certainly is that. But I don't know. Can you fix Twitter?
I don't necessarily think so, because it's a platform where you're just sharing your opinion, and then you get keyboard warrior and troll guy who just want to fight everybody and enjoy watching everyone melt down. So I don't think there is a fix for it per se. And I think that, like Twitter has done a lot of stuff with like rooms and like trying to work in more like voice chats, where like on the show like 6-8 months ago when all the beat writers in town did that space, the Twitter space, where they all talked about it, and then they're trying to do more stuff like that. But I just feel like Twitter it is necessary for the flow of information. That's it. Like,
yeah,
I as you can tell, I don't put much effort into Twitter. I use it every day to find stuff to talk about, to see people's opinions.
It's a great source for news, depending on who you follow.
Yeah,
I think for politics, it's absolutely a cesspool. I do not follow politics on there. It makes me crazy.
Yeah.
Gumbylicious says, good news for those who left Twitter. MySpace is hiring. You got this. Exactly. Stucco God 31 says, who cares about Twitter? Apparently a lot of people. Boyd says, I like it. Purge Twitter. Bring it all to Austin and I'll work for Elon. I trust Elon more than their current management. That's interesting. Tom Basilius says, Twitter is the least censored of all the major social media platforms. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I do, which is good and bad, by the way. Stucco God 31 says, talk sports. You just said you don't want to talk about politics like 2 minutes ago. Okay, who's talking about politics?
Yeah.
We're talking about Twitter. And we've spent 3 hours talking about sports.
Yeah.
So we talk a ton of sports. San Diego State says, vision and credibility are two of the top traits, characteristics that people want to see in leadership. Servant leadership 101. I agree with that. A hundo P. I just think it's, yeah. You know what? I think the whole problem is that we don't have great leadership. I think that's a huge issue. And I don't know what leadership is. It's funny, we mentioned earlier talking about control. I think control is such a false thing.
Yeah.
Control is not real.
Yeah.
Fear is not real. Like, I think we create these things in our head to make us get through the day. Like, I mean, fear and control just don't exist. You created them. You created that in your mind that you're scared. You created in your mind that you have control of something. You have control of nothing. You don't. The only thing you can control is your attitude. And I think when you look at places like Twitter, Twitter creates fear. Twitter creates control mongers. Twitter is a place that people go to air other people out. Like that's the thing. Like, it used to be a fun exchange of information where you could talk to people and interact with your listeners and fans. And it just becomes so angry. People get so, I think I still don't understand that whole thing where like Twitter tough guy thrives. Like, why do people need to be Twitter tough guys?
Yeah, I don't get it.
And I'm assuming that's your only place to feel like a Trojan horse. I don't know. But, it just is, it's just crazy to me that you go to places like Twitter and people just get angry.
Yeah.
It's just, it really is. Oh, yeah, exactly, Boyd. I like Twitter for news in my industry and sharing quick facts. It's horrible for most other things.
Totally agree.
That's exactly right. Justin Saw says, Twitter is a dumpster fire. Even the founder thinks so. Agree. It just is what it is. It is. Yeah. I don't know what you do with that. NY Monty fan said, I'm 100% convinced Ruffs just likes to play the villain in the victim role. Oh yeah, absolutely. It is, Hey, look, Ruff, I don't dislike you.
Yeah.
I just don't like interacting with you on most things because you get so angry and you want to go so far off the reservation. Like, we're talking about Kanye and you want to bring up every other person in the world who's ever talked about Jews or the Jewish faith or the Jewish community. And it's like, dude, we're talking about Kanye, man. Like, you just can't control yourself. So I'm not blocking you. I'm just not going to interact with you.
Yeah.
When you say dumb things, it's crazy to me that people get so upset about that. Big Dog O-Town says, I support free speech. I think we all do.
Yeah.
Well, most of us do. Twitter. Boyd Lake says, Twitter is a virtual dog pile for politics. I cannot stand. And that's the sad thing. I'm passionate about politics. You can't talk about it with people.
No, and that's not a Twitter thing. That's just in general. I don't think you can have the conversation
at all. And it's really
people just get so pissed about it,
Yeah, I mean it's terrible. Justin says Twitter is a net negative for society. I see the upside of it, but that doesn't make up for all the bad it's done. No, I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Jeremy Bolton says off topic, but I'm just glad I don't have to look at that sad excuse of a mascot sitting on the shelf behind you. He means Swoop.
Oh, okay. Well, we can get Swoop in here tomorrow if you want.
I mean, we can
I'll give him a call.
What are we going to do about a listener Hall of Fame? Because we said that the other day and everybody's asking.
Yeah, we're working on it, bro. Like we're what I think we need to do is maybe it's like a photo thing or something. Like I think we could do like some, I can't remember what they call those. The old photos that have like the white border around them,
mugshots, wanted posters?
Not mugshots.
Polaroids?
Polaroids, yeah. Polaroids.
You mean Polaroids?
Yeah, Polaroids. That'd be cool.
Okay. We could do that.
Yeah.
Jeremy Bolton says, you know what's not a poo fest? Cougar board. Oh, wait. Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, I am
bro.
I'm not a cougar board guy.
Yeah.
Maybe I should be. I mean, I just, it is what it is. Ruff's official says, I don't comment. I call and you call me out by name. I comment and you call me out for having an opinion. Ruff, the problem is you don't have an opinion. All you do is you throw out this salacious shit and then you're like, oh, well, it's the truth and I'm holding you accountable. That's why you don't want to talk about it. It's not the truth. 9 out of 10 things that you say are completely wrong and hateful and angry, and nobody is here for that, dude. We're here to just have fun and talk about things. We're here to talk about the cesspool that is Cougar Board and the cesspool that is Twitter. Yeah. We're not here to talk about politicians and like it's just not. Teddy Wayman says, got to get my ginger beard on the Hall of Fame. I think you do.
Hey, dude.
I think you do.
Yeah.
Edwin says, are there NIL companies that connect players with sponsors? There are. Just not at Utah, which is so frustrating. CougConnect.com is a great NIL company that connects us with guys like Harris LaChance some weeks. I'll stop. Jeremy Bolton says, sup, Greg Hawkins. Good to see you, Boyd Lake. I don't know how to quit Cougar Board. Are you a Cougar Board guy? I'm not. I used to, when I worked at KFan, I used to have a bunch of people commenting about us, our show on there.
Yeah.
But I just learned a long time ago that message boards are
Reddit feeds.
Yeah, exactly. No. It's just not. Yeah, Greg Hawkins, how the heck are you, dude? Long time no chat, Greg. Good to see you, my man. Hullabilly says, I love this show. Thank you. I appreciate that. Jeremy says, I'll send you a pic of my headband and Caruso jersey. I'll also show up late and only give half an effort.
Well, there you go.
Okay. Okay. I used to post a lot on Cougar Board, not so much these days, Boyd Lake said. NY Monty Van says, good to see you, Greg Hawkins. We need U of U takes. Yes, we do. By the way, the other thing we need is USB-C, because apparently USB-C is the only way that we're going to be able to operate in this world.
Yeah.
Should iPhone go to USB-C? I mean, everything else that Apple does, like we use all Apple products.
Yeah.
They're all USB-C now. iPhone is Lightning.
Yeah, I mean, I think that so I can get down with this concept that, Apple is notorious for saying, yeah, you can only use our cable with your phone. That's been the thing, is that they want the exclusive on selling you an iPhone and then you having to go and buy their charger. And they also got sued for that. You have to sell something to charge the device with. So, it's like, I do think they should have to go to USB-C. I think it's a standard port. It's a standard, cable that everybody and their mom uses.
And the rest of the world uses it.
Yeah, and the rest of the world uses it. So, like, Mrs. Monty was here. She would say this is a waste issue, which I totally agree with. You're making a product that is only exclusive to you, and everyone else and their mom uses USB-C. So, yeah, I think that it's good to go to iPhone, and I think they could turn this into a positive for the company. I think that, you could easily find a way to turn this into a positive.
I think this is why so many people are anti-iPhone, though.
Yeah.
Is because it is not It's not the universal platform that Google and Android are. It's not the universal platform that Samsung is on. Like, iPhone is very unique. I mean, it's awesome. I love it. I will never use another phone if I don't have to other than iPhone. I wish it was USB-C because, frankly, it would make my life a lot easier.
Yeah, we've got like 50 USB-C cables for everything we do.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, every computer we use now is USB-C.
Yeah,
and you know the Lightning cable, the Thunderbolt. I mean, it's all good, but USB-C is the industry standard. You know, like it's brutal. Justin Sal says, I agreed. I love politics, but can't talk about it with anyone. Feels like people have made their political parts a part of their identity. So by disagreeing, they think you're attacking them personally. It's brutal. It's absolutely. I love talking politics.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about Evan McMullen versus Mike Lee on this show. I would love to do that. Can't do it. Can't do it. Because people absolutely get all upset about it.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to talk about the Dr. Oz debate the other night. Like, but you can't because, you know, I was talking to one guy about a month ago about Dr. Oz, and the first thing that dude brought up to me was QAnon. And it's like, dude, like, what are you?
Yeah.
If you come to me and say, well, QAnon is real, there's nowhere for me to go from that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's nowhere for me to go.
Yeah.
Where am I supposed to go with that? What do you always say to me? Like, Jake and I will just be driving down the road having a serious conversation, and I'll just say something outlandish to be stupid. And Jake will say to me, where am I supposed to go with that? Where are you going?
Yeah, like, what am I supposed to do with that, dude?
Man? What am I supposed to say to that? Like, you come at me with the Q is real. Where am I supposed to go with that? Because you truly believe that. Where am I supposed to go with that?
Yeah.
Hello?
It's true.
And I just don't, it's like you can't talk about politics with anybody because people get upset.
Yeah.
You know, and then they say stupid things like Android all day.
Come on, Teddy.
And it's like, dude, in the one breath, you're like, I need to be in the Hall of Fame. In the other breath, you say like Android all day.
Hey, you start talking shit.
How am I supposed to put you in the Hall of Fame? How am I supposed to do that?
Not a good question.
You know, like, are you kidding me? Good Lord. Let's see. Gumbylicious says, funny how the newer MacBooks have USB-C, but not the iPhone. It's annoying as hell.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell. It's terrible. Jeremy Bolton says, you see, Teddy knows Android all day. Jeremy?
No.
Brent Burnett said, you just did talk politics, you sillies. Who did we talk politics about? No, we didn't talk politics. We may have mentioned, but no. Tom Basilius, nobody can talk politics at work. No, because you'll all get fired. Jeremy Bolton, who was the listener on here a couple of years ago, the truck driver guy, huge Trump guy that we pretty much ran off the show? Who was that? Read something or... Oh, I can't remember his name. I want to say like Tree Bark or something. I can't remember. But I miss that guy. He was a really good Jazz fan and a really good Utah fan. And we got into the election in 2020 and he just wouldn't. He was a QAnon guy. And he would not. It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
what are we doing?
His name.
Tom Basilius says this isn't unique to radio, Twitter, YouTube. None of us talk politics at work. I agree with that. Cue up the Mike Singletary drop. Can't do it. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Man, that was one of the most amazing things. Brett Burnett says, I can talk politics at work as I am self-employed. Try the Alema thing. Exactly right. Exactly right. TryDayTrading.com/Monty. Get on your own. Tom Basilius says, Q is boomers getting trolled by 4chan. Okay. Are there really people, honest to God, do you really think QAnon's real? I mean, like, I can't. Come on.
Yeah.
Boyd Lake says, I'm an iPhone guy, but I hate how they, quote, manage and manipulate users with their hardware. Apple has always done this. Always. Remember? But do you remember when, like, iTunes was, like, on your computer?
Yeah.
And you had to have, like, logins and this and that. And please. It's a win. Lopes Fan Gabe says, I hear there is a time slot available right after RSL hour on the Monty Show, on the Monty Radio Network for political talk. Exactly right. Exactly right, Lopes Fan Gabe. That's right. You know, Greg Hawkins says, have you guys been following the Darrell Brooks trial? Greg? Now, I will say, and I will pull it up right now. I keep a note thing on my phone.
Here we go.
I keep a note thing on my phone about show prep so that I don't forget stories. And the Daryl Brooks trial, where's the, here it is right here. Daryl Brooks is a guy that is, I think he's mentally deranged. He essentially drove his car through a parade in Waukesha. And I wasn't
That's
like
quite enough. We
was
get
it
it.
4th of July? No, Christmas parade. And he's been going crazy in court. And I was going to bring it up because of the Kanye thing.
Yeah.
Because if you act the way Kanye acts in a trial, you're guilty.
What are you, nuts?
I mean, it's that simple. So I think I'm guessing you're talking about the same thing. You know. Boyd Lake says, I'm a conservative, but I don't get the QA nonsense. Yeah, totally. Hey, I'm a registered Republican. You can look it up. And I've never understood it. Ed Wins, where were y'all working before you went full-time on YouTube? Yelp.com is where we were full-time, but we quit and went all in on this. Fat Jesus says, we should eliminate Q from the alphabet. You can replace it with KW. Okay. Driftwood. Yes, Cody Strickland. Driftwood.
Oh, my God.
See, tree bark. Dude. I was close.
Dude,
I was close.
Driftwood. Oh, my God.
Driftwood. Yeah. I missed Driftwood.
Oh,
I
my
miss him
God.
so
what
much.
a name.
That's been too long. Yeah, Jeremy Bolton. Driftwood. That's right. Great poll.
Great
exactly
poll,
right.
dude.
NY Monty fan says, amen, Boyd Lake. Apple needs to right the ship for sure. For sure. Cody Strickland says, I'm one of those people, one of those Trump people. I just know how to be civil and let people talk instead of saying you're wrong. Well, it doesn't matter if you're a Trump supporter. I mean, I know a million Trump supporters. The problem is it's that you can't have a back and forth common sense conversation. You know, like you just can't, the nonsense and the anger and the violence and, you know, it's just crazy. Mike Phillips says, yes, USBC is the way. Yes, it is. That's why I'm VP of the Monty Town, Cody Strickland says.
Hey, man, I definitely think
Cody, the problem is you're underneath, you know, Alex Caruso.
Well,
as mayor and president of Monty Town.
Yeah, probably.
You know, prefer people focus on issues when it comes to politics. Yes. Jeremy Bolton says, Growcock Driftwood equal Hall of Fame hacks.
Yes.
Driftwood has to be in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
He is.
Dude was absolute savage.
And I loved having him on the show. I loved talking. That was when we were doing like 20 listeners a show.
Yeah.
Like when we had no listeners at all on this show. That was an amazing time. Brent Burnett says, find solutions to issues rather than all bark and no substance. Do you hate talking politics?
Yeah, I do. I just think there's no... It's because you're not talking politics. It's not how it was when I was a kid. Like when I was a kid, I just didn't understand politics. Now I understand them, but now I know you can't talk about them because it's just not
it's the nonsensical stuff.
Yeah,
that drives me crazy.
And I just think that there is no end to it, and that's why I'm saying that's why I've always been an advocate for just be the quiet person in the room. Like just listen to the conversation that's being had, learn from it, and and observe.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great conversations in the world that you could have. And I mean, the sound, and I never even brought it up to you because I know you would say no. The sound from Dr. Oz.
Yeah.
So Dr. Oz is in this debate the other day.
Dude.
And they asked about abortion bans.
Nazis.
And Dr. Oz is like, nah, man, I think abortion should be a private conversation between a woman, her doctor, and her local politicians.
Nazis.
It's like, what the fuck? What did you say? Wait, that was a private conversation between a woman, her doctor, and her local politicians?
Final.
What? Like that piece of sound would have been amazing, but you can't do it. You can't do it.
Can't do it.
You know, like it's just the stuff that is said in the debates across this country.
Yeah, dude.
It's political. It's awesome.
So I'm saying, like, politics in the talk format is a gold mine of topics, but we're not going to do that. That's just not.
I mean, it is so amazing to me watching the debates and. Oh my God. I don't have a dog in the fight in the Dr. Oz election thing.
Yeah.
But the stupid stuff that guy, if Dr. Oz gets elected, I give up. Because the things that guy has said and done on this campaign, if you vote for that, it's like Herschel Walker. I am against abortion. Hey, here are the receipts where Herschel Walker paid for my abortion.
Hey, Claw.
You know, see this? And he's going to get elected. That's the thing that's crazy. He's going to get elected.
Yeah.
It's political gold. I love debates. I love the debate season because you get to laugh at these people. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how funny it is. Yeah. I just, you know, it's anyway. There you have it. That's as far as we should, you know.
Yeah.
Lopes fan Gabe says, better to keep your mouth closed and be thought of as a fool than open your mouth and remove all doubt.
Well,
Truth. Let's see. DeCobber 1981. Every political debate is an attack on their opponent. It is. If they would just speak on issues, I think it would be better for everybody. But nobody talks about issues.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's what's wrong in this country now.
Yeah, 100%.
I think we've gotten into these like popularity contests and. You know, like in Senate races now, it's, okay, who does Donald Trump support? And, did you support Stop the Steal on January 6th? And, like, all this craziness instead of, hey, by the way, what are you going to do for my taxes? Like, mayoral debates in Phoenix are more about who does Donald Trump support and do you believe in Stop the Steal than they are about taxes in Phoenix.
Yosemites.
Like, what are we doing? Who cares what you think of January 6th in a mayoral debate? I want to know what you're going to do for my schools and taxes.
Everybody gets a test.
But no, man, you can't do that. You just cannot do that. You know, like it's crazy to me.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the, you know, I just.
Yeah, because that's our country. We love attention. So that's what we gravitate to.
Yeah. Gummylicious says, rarely is the question asked, is a taco a sandwich? Lopes fan Gabe is here. I mean, Lopes fan Gabe is the type of guy that'll roll into a conversation and be like, oh, you guys are talking about like your friend who was killed in a car accident? Let's not do that. Let's debate whether cereal is soup.
Don't you know who I am?
Go. Like that is, Lopes fan Gabe rolls in and he's like, hey, man, is cereal soup? All right, cool, thanks. And then he's also the type of guy, Lopes fan Gabe will be like, all right, is a hot dog a sandwich?
That's out of the window.
And somebody will start talking and he'll just fold his arms and watch for the pure entertainment of it. It's amazing. It is amazing. I just, you know. Anyway, Justin Salas says, Driftwood, found it, guys. Spent 5 minutes going through old shows.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Tom Basilius says, Utah Senate elections. How far right will Utah go? No left wing here.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. Do politicians really impact our lives, though?
Yes.
I think they actually do.
Well, I think, this is controversial, I guess, but I think they impact women's lives way more than they affect a male's life. You know,
I would
for
agree.
obvious reasons.
I would agree with that. You know, I would totally agree with that. Hullabilly says, rather speak my mind than to be censored. We don't have to agree. That's America. I agree. In fact, it's better when we don't, when you can. I think we just are so scared about being impacted by different feelings and thoughts. We don't want to have our opinions changed.
Yeah.
I think that's really the issue, if we're being honest. Jeremy Bolton says, Justin Salas, solid detective work there. As mayor, I nominate you as the detective of Monty Town.
There you go.
He is a lead detective. You know. NY Monty fan says, that's not controversial, Jake. That's facts.
Yeah.
Lopes fan Gabe says, so are we team fridge or team pantry when it comes to ketchup storage?
Ooh.
Wow. See what
I'm
I mean?
Fridge guy. I'm fridge. See,
like
that's a great question.
No. Lopes fan Gabe, you're not going to roll in here and derail the show with your stupid ketchup questions. Everybody is team fridge.
Team pantry.
Don't sass me, Burkus.
What about peanut butter?
Pantry.
You are a pantry guy.
Pantry all day. Yeah.
Well,
but I guess it depends, though, because, like, the stuff you get in Jif can pantry all day, but the stuff you got to stir up, you do need to keep in the fridge so it doesn't separate.
Upside down.
So it doesn't separate.
Costco peanut butter.
Yeah.
Upside down. Tom Basilius says fridge forever. Boyd Lake says if it's open, it has to be in the fridge. You derailed this show, sir.
Suckmyass.com.
If you're not storing it in the fridge after you open it, you have a problem. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ed Wynn says, it says refrigerate after opening on the bottle. Well, clearly Gabe doesn't do that, and that's why, everybody just humor Gabe. He's got the tomato paste going bad.
Yeah.
Team pantry, fridge, or soaking. No! No!
Oh, my God.
Bread in the freezer or on the counter? No fridge bread. You got to put it in the fridge.
See, again, though, I think it's the type of bread. Like, if you're getting Dave's seeded, that needs to go in the fridge.
Dave's seeded bread is...
If you're getting more traditional, just like a whole wheat thing, that can sit on the counter.
Yeah, I agree. How do we wind up in this
Team
place?
fridge or team pantry?
Look at you.
Come on.
Oh, my God. That is amazing. I won't either. Jeremy Bolton says, I'll never forgive Tanner Plummer for the soaking conversation.
Dude. First person, last Friday, the Grizzlies home opener. We walk into the Maverick Center. First person at the ticket window. Someone who listens to our show. Can't remember what you said your name was on YouTube. First person. That soaking conversation was amazing. Like, we're at the ticket window talking about soaking. Come on.
I could not believe that. Wow. If you missed that show, John Jackson says, I love these derail conversations. I know you do too. I do.
Yeah, they're fun.
NY Monty fan says, who puts PB in the refrigerator? That should be a misdemeanor for murder you're going to commit on the bread.
Yeah, dude. It's going to tear it up. Right? Like, come on.
Okay. Best flavor of jelly for PB&J. Oh. We're going grape. Concord, no.
But before we talk about flavors, we got to talk about the quality of the jelly you get, because you turned me on to that really high quality jelly and it changed my life. Like, the quality of the jelly matters.
What's in Immigration Canyon, the restaurant?
Ruth's.
Go to Ruth's Diner in Immigration Canyon.
Yeah.
And get the jar of raspberry preserves.
It is bomb.
It's raspberry, by the way. It is raspberry.
Yeah, raspberry's pretty damn good. I would go grape second, though. I am a big grape guy.
Gumbylicious gets real on us on the refrigerator question. He's like, whatever the label says. Who reads labels? Nobody reads labels.
Quiet.
What? Nobody reads labels. Fat Jesus says, Lopes fan Gabe, that was amazing. Holabilly says strawberry jelly. Raspberry homemade. Thank you to Cobber. Thank you. Boyd Lake. Voice of reason, raspberry jelly all the way.
Smooth or chunky peanut butter then, because I'm a smooth guy. I'm a smooth guy, dude.
Stop it.
I am a smooth guy.
Just stop it. Stop it. It's smooth. Nobody likes peanuts in their peanut. No.
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Nobody.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Nobody does that. Gumbylicious says grape. Jam over. Here's the problem, Gumbylicious. Grape jelly is now like squeeze out of a bottle jelly. That's not jelly. Like, I need a glass jar,
Yeah.
Pickles, good or bad. Kurt Myers says peach pineapple. Mom made a huckleberry raspberry that is legendary. Oh, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Justin Saul says you aren't putting strawberry preserves on your PJ. You're missing out.
That's what I grew up on as a kid. Strawberry jelly with smooth creamy peanut butter.
Yes.
and wheat bread.
Strawberry rhubarb from Harmon's. Okay. Yeah. Well, and the other question is how much? Because you are half a jar guy.
Oh yeah, I go heavy on the portions. Bro.
Yes,
I gotta have a man's peanut butter and jelly, bro. I can't do this. I can't do this. Oh, portion out your peanut butter, honey. Make sure you don't put too much on there.
You know how many calories that is? I don't care.
You know how long it's been since I've had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
Oh my God, forever. Oh yeah, Kurt Meyer says peach pineapple. Oh yes. No, Justin Salas crunch. No.
What did I tell you?
No.
What did I tell you?
Don't start with this crunchy peanut butter thing.
guy of simple taste.
I will become violent. It's not good. Lopes fan Gabe says Smucker's natural strawberry jam.
Smucker's, that's the brand.
Is there any other option? Oh, Smucker's. Yeah, you know what? I still maintain the Goober grape with the peanut butter and the grape jelly in the jar.
Good, dude.
My God. Brett Burnett says Grandma pickled best sweet and tasty. I love what's the name of that? I can't remember the pickles I like. The little dill pickles, Bussies or something like that. I love that.
Damn, I can't remember. Yeah.
I love that. NY Monty fan says no chunky peanut butter allowed ever. I agree. Mix that with some all-natural crunch peanut butter, and you've got yourself a great PB&J, Justin.
Man, now I want a PB&J, dude.
Yeah,
Damn.
Me too. Play the music. We have to go. 9:33. Thanks for the conversation. I know sometimes it gets a little serious. I say thank you to everybody but Ruff's official. No, I'm kidding. Dude, I'm kidding.
It was a joke. Relax.
Relax. Settle down. Thanks to all of our sponsors on the show, The Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com, our good friends at Barbecue Pit Stop, BBQPitstop.com, Papa Murphy's Pizza, Quick Quack Car Wash, the Wayman Brothers Construction Company. It's all good on the hood. Thanks for supporting our sponsors. Thanks for being here until... Oh, hold on.
Yeah, hold on.
Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.